Okay, so a lot of stuff happened. We started the session with just some downtime. Dean did some cooking. We found out Ash's favorite color. We sleep. Esther talks to her Fain a little bit, asks like they knew a little bit more about the zodiac, more historically. None of the Fain really knows how it started. They were originally plane defenders. Different elements have disagreements. Three of them were appointed. A war started between the fire and the earth plane, and the planes were in a bit of turmoil, and the system was considered a failure up until recent. So Zodiac is more of a title to be granted. Some Zodiacs died by assassination, others died in war, others by age, some were brought down by devils or other stuff. It's the same way like any leader can die. It's more of a political title and not one that grants any extra power. So Esther, like I think she says in her sleep, doesn't really see peace in the future. And the hierarchy of the Zodiacs is historically supposed to be all equal, but through deals, some grew more powerful than the others. On its own, it is a self-governed peace agreement. And then at the end, Esther wants to dream of her siblings. So we wake up. Rosalind has the letter on her pillow. It's from Hal'qarim, a declaration of love. A lot of us were laughing. Rosalind still isn't interested. It's really snappy.
Good.
We still think the Duke didn't tell Prince Charmless that she wasn't interested when we were back in Anthem. Esther offers to go with Rosalind to go turn him down, so we head back to the Diviners. Do you need to ask anything else? Esther relays her information on the Fain to the party, and who are we going to see after Aquarius? We were going to ask about Tauros, because that was maybe the decision to go see him. And would we also know, would the Diviner also know places where we can go to get more powerful stuff or just to get more powerful? So we ask, yes, info on Tauros, he's a blacksmith. Number of quote-unquote slaves, the sentience of them is debated. Quick builder, makes armor easily used by magic. Businessman, keeps to himself. Current locations on the plane of Earth in the City of Jewels. It's dangerous for those not born there because there's no air. And Tauros can be seen wearing armor but can't actually see the person. At normal stature, strong. And how fast is info spread between the zodiacs? Not certain. We asked about Sagittarius, Horse Lord, and borderline enigma. Salamander naturally. Asked about Cancer. They command several disposable infantries, resides on the water side of the plane of ice, not certain of their strength or persona. Zodiac reaction to one having something happen to them. One of their forces would pass on the message and all the Zodiacs would know. So we go down the tiers of the Zodiacs with who is most powerful. The most powerful of the Zodiacs, the upper tier are Pisces, Aries, Gemini, and Capricorn. If we open up negotiations with Aquarius, and she will want to have meetups with the powers of the material plane, where should we send? Not sure if the attacks have spread to other countries or continents, but maybe the Druids, because they're the heads of the country. The Great Archdruid, may he rest in peace, has an apprentice in training, so there's a possibility of that. His name is Zakaria, and he is in training for 2 years, I believe. And then could we find help or simply from a glimmer of some sort? Lots of glimmers are in hiding, but illusion and transmutation can help. There's questioning of where the glimmer of necromancy is. He's the one like big hiding, and there's still a lot of powerful people around. And the illusion or transmutation glimmers are our best bets, one of them in the forest and one of them in the swamp. We've met the illusion one because she is from the Patrick Forest. And then any resources that may be valuable to us. There are a lot of artifacts relating to our classes that may come out. Not sure of the plane of ice. Diviner's sight is mostly limited to the material plane. The University in Valeri may give us a bit more luck with finding that stuff. And then we learn of the Evergreen Swamps having a cult issue to Zugtami. Do we foresee any large events in the future that she'd be willing to share? Any other peduncles on the horizon? Not entirely. The Diviner's been looking to the rebels in the north, as they've been an issue, but nothing that is an issue for us personally, unless we want to get caught in that battle. It's not reasonable that some glimmers are allied with that side, as some may still remember when the Druids first took over and are still not happy about it, because also a lot of Druids may remember too. Pretty tense. And then it is time for Rosalind and Esther to discuss with Hal'qarim. Zinnia takes Mitzi out to the alchemist supplies, and they just go outside. So Hal'qarim is very excited for the journey. Rosalind can come. Rosalind reiterates how like the Duke was supposed to talk to him. Duke made humorous discussion over wine, so they may have been a little winds up. And his letter, Mitzi took Hal'qarim's letter and gave it to Rosalind, put it under the pillow. Rosalind turns him down, as we all know. And Rosalind's still persistent and cares for Rosalind, but if Rosalind's decision changes, she already knows his answer. And Rosalind asks him not to write any more letters. And Mitzi was a bit upset when we got there because, Hal'qarim's leaving. It's her brother. She asked to come with, but not a wise choice because it's the plane of ice. So we are ready to leave at that point. And are we taking the horse? Of course we are. So I'm just going back. Okay, so we teleport to the Tooth of Ragnar, thanks Diviner. The Diviner feels nothing. We feel nothing. Perhaps second vision covered by mist. We have to squint because of the light reflecting off of all the ice. The boots kick in, start generating warmth. There is we're on a glacier, and there is a river across from us with there's a dragon skeleton. There's a ring of people away from the skeleton and close to the opposite edge. Rings around a person. By the ring is a massive polar bear, large teeth, huge jaw, and on the cliffs holding up the dragon are people holding torches on either side of them. Diviner is gone. The polar bear looks in our direction, stands up, and we hear the soughing sound. And the people in the circle turn to look at us. They're all Genasi with gliders strapped to their back. So Thorn is sent, and Rosalind speaks through him, saying, "We'd like to speak to Aquarius." Everyone sort of bristles. The bear sniffs Thorn. There's a young lady in the middle of the circle, an Air Genasi, with a really fancy breastplate, and kneels in front of Thorn. Asks if he speaks for us. Yeah, is Rosalind's familiar. The polar bear starts swimming across the river, wants us to climb on. We hop on and also fly the horse across. And we are led to Aquarius's office by Mirren, who Esther talks to in Primordial. He does have an Aquan dialect. He keeps asking where she's from, all that stuff, because they're both Genasi. He's been on the plane of ice as long as the war effort's been going on. He comes from the plane of water. He bristles when Esther says the material plane, so I think at that point the word will get out to the rest of Aquarius's troops that we are from the material plane. We go into the office. There are some exits. We are in the skull of the office, so we can just leave pretty easily. There is a Myrmidon standing guard at the door holding a trident. A couple people scan the office a little bit, see disorganized papers, contract in different primordial languages. Esther sees some talks of peace treaties and also maybe some raids being permitted before action is taken between the planes of fire and earth. Ashta recommends not to dig through Aquarius' papers. And he goes to sense a portal. There's a distant one, 3/4 or a bit more of a mile, not sure of its stability. Aquarius enters 10 minutes later with her bear, wants us to introduce ourselves. We don't really use our names, but she's already seen our faces, which is a bit of a mistake, but who cares? Any chance at peace? War is preferable to many of the residents on the plane of ice and to others, and there isn't a lot she can tell. But if we wish for peace, it will be difficult, not impossible, but difficult, especially from such a magical civilization on the material plane, because magic is an influencing factor in the war. Aquarius always wishes for peace. She is a peacekeeper. And she brought up peace for whom? Because magic users have been banished from the elemental planes, but since we're here, she wants to know who we represent. We mostly represent our planes, of course. We're not appointed, not sent. We are loyal to someone or something. Rosalind says our country's name, and Aquarius sees why peace is on our minds. She did try to prevent a lot of the attacks. But if we are from Phoenicia, she turns to the window, whispers into a string from her pocket, waits, gives a deep sigh. Her form goes into some sort of a fog cloud for a second. She was granted a permission to tell us a little bit from her master. Phoenicia is the heart of Zodiac's issues, and the attempt for negotiation has been made in the past to both the arcane rulers and the archdruids. Aquarius doesn't know how the talks went, but no change was made. Because of the banishing of some from their plane, it seemed like the talks were over. And none of the Zodiacs like listening to others' orders, nor may they not like each other. Aquarius is a Zodiac because it is her duty. She serves her plane and trusts her master with more than her whole life. We will meet him if we continue peace talks. Her master's another Zodiac, but she doesn't tell us which. She wants cohesion as she was born in the plane, when planes beside each other were attacking each other. And since elemental peace has been reached, the Zodiacs decided the material plane would be the next target. Aquarius didn't have her power of negotiation in the material, so she uses messengers instead, one of which has been captured, the one in Daran Kor that the diviner told us about, and she feels the losses of her men dearly. Because they're loyal to each other, she's like a mother to them. She earns her respect by showing it. She reminds us that Genasi are always welcome on their native plane. Esther keeps that to herself in need of maybe spying, or Genasi are welcome to escape to their home plane if danger arises. Aquarius concerns for all, but is loyal to her plane, obviously. She trains them personally, and like children to her, if they die under her command, it is her fault. What she has done is delayed attacks on her plane. The plane was to wipe out the southern half of the country. I think that's where most of the population was. Attacks went on to a smaller scale, but none of her troops were a part of those attacks. Hal'qarim offers to cast Zone of Truth so that none of us are affected by it, and Aquarius consents to it. So we ask a bit more, is there anything we from the material plane can do, or do we just wait for Aquarius and her master to break under pressure? Not really, but the only way we could act to stop the war would be to quote-unquote give up most of our country's identity and power to feed our citizens. But with negotiations with the archdruids disappeared, and remember how druidic magic is drawn from elemental planes. The arcane would not give up their power either, and as long as glimmers are in positions of power, this is a long road to peace, and many do not want to walk any longer. And we can research to discover if this means all magic or just druidic magic. I think that got cleared up at the end of the session. And Aquarius tenses, saying we may need to leave soon. Apparently another Zodiac doesn't like outsiders talking to her. So they were on their way, and we were thinking maybe not talking to them. So we should leave before it gets bad, as no one would be happy to see us. And Conrad likes to remind us there is no good option, but we have to live with the options we make. So many have asked us to capture and hand off Aquarius. Or reserve the network, the diviner, it depends on who we want to. So we need to leave, and Ashta has our little teleportation orb, and he decides to be like, you know what, let's fucking do this, and twist the orb. So we had to do an initiative order for him and Aquarius. He gets the higher number by 1, and we end up in not the glass bogs. I think, where do we end up again? I need someone to remind me of that.
Right on the edge of the Genasi Desert and the Glisten Tors and the Plains of Wrath, kind of where all those meet.
Okay, yes, and the session ends with Aquarius saying, "What did you do?"
Yep.
Very detailed recap for a very intense session.
The after-session explanation that Conrad was too excited to hold back and figured we'd find out anyway now that we have Aquarius. The start of the war is because a certain amount of magic is native to each plane, but so much is now being drawn to the material plane through use that it's pulling the planes together and causing them to lose their distinctions. The Zodiacs started the war to start trying to pull in the opposite direction. So that's why teleportation's gone wonky too.
Alright, so because last time she was in the midst of casting a spell and then she was transported, and how close the initiatives were, the spell gets cast anyways, as you see a kind of collection of like juts of ice come out of the ground and surround her. And you guys are back on your plane, and she's in this little hut, basically. There are not as thick as I have on the map, they're only a foot thick, but to make them see they're larger. And yeah, so you guys recognize the more comfortable temperature, but there's a little icicle-based house in front of you. What do you do?
Ashika just like gives a look to her eyes and like, are you breaking in or?
Esther's gonna go up and knock on the ice.
Ding, 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 ding. Which is where you get the, what did you just do?
We left. And, well, we seem to have brought you with us.
So you kidnapped me.
More or less.
Sorry?
Why? I was giving you free passage out. I don't understand.
Perhaps you should talk to somebody other than us, or rather as well as us. There is someone in a city to the north, a Glimmer, whose main concern is keeping citizens safe, much as yours is keeping your people and soldiers safe. Maybe that can be common ground. Maybe we can figure out some way to reverse whatever is happening.
Alright, Rosalind, give me a persuasion check.
Mm. 18.
You hear her respond from within and just go, I don't know who you plan to bring me to, but if you think they're not just gonna jail me or kill me or something for being on the other side of the war, you may trust them, but you don't know them for certain. At least,
We won't allow that to happen.
yeah, and how can I be guaranteed of this? I'm not dumb. I'm trusting, I'm not dumb.
And Ashta just kind of looks like, well, to be honest, I don't know there's much we could tell you right now that you'd believe. I mean, look at the position you're in. But you're right. It's a long road to walk to peace, but we're taking you with us.
Yes.
Listen, that particular glimmer is the first person I can think of the most likely to listen and not react in the way that you say.
He's actually not an asshole, which is very hard to find.
You said it before, we're not... Our concern is for our plane, but we're not on the one side of the war. And where we're taking you, you're not going to be either. We're on the side that's fixing this issue.
Which, from what we can tell, is the side that you are on as well.
You don't hear a response from within.
If I have to, I will swear on whatever you wish me to that I will not willingly allow you to come to harm.
As will I.
I might
Still.
not have the power of a glimmer, but there is surely something I can do.
Well, I wouldn't even say that. What glimmers can say they kidnapped a Zodiac.
Ashta, really.
Not the time.
Still nothing.
Listen, we brought you here. We can't just leave you in the middle of the material plane with no supplies, no transport, nothing. You might as well come with us.
I was just going like 360 around the place.
Okay, make a perception check. You do see her little hut is closed off on every side.
It shouldn't be advantage. That's it's a -3.
Okay, so 15. Okay, yeah. It seems her little hut is made of like little 10-foot sections that you see outlined there. What you see above right there seems to be some kind of collapsed hovel. There's a couple of them further down the river and up the river. It's a very slow-moving stream. 1 or 2 fish swimming through it. Very shallow. It's relatively clear of like tree cover or anything but this very short grass. There's a hill to the north. No animals that you can see, except for the fish I mentioned before. A couple of beetles on the ground.
Okay. And how certain is he that Aquarius is still in there? Is there much of an outline you can see through the ice?
Unless she's gone through non-physical means to get out, or burrowed through the ground or something, she's still in there.
Rosalind's gonna use Thorn. He's got telepathy. Within 100 feet that can understand the language. It doesn't have to be a person within sight.
Okay. He does get connect with her mind, but he's much further away than she's much further away than he expected.
How far away?
About 30 feet.
Okay.
And he's on her shoulder.
He's on her shoulder?
He's on your shoulder,
My shoulder, I'm going wet. Okay, and Rosalind is kind of a, not quite last ditch, but a quick effort is going to have him think to her, it's risky, but it might interest you to know that we know about where your missing soldier is kept.
Oh, she's about to bring that up, damn it.
In response, you essentially get this can be a deal made without me here.
I believe this would be a deal made in return for you speaking with the person we would like you to speak with. If need be, then we can do our very best to convince him to come out of the city and meet on neutral ground without whatever you fear, guards, soldiers, anything of the sort.
She might come back around and just kind of look to everyone. It's like, is she still in there?
She's about 30 feet away.
Esyther, can you break this down?
Rosalind, do give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Alright. I clicked.
It'll get there eventually.
Ashta, you'll have to give me a second, though. I'll wait until we see what Rosalind did.
There
Oh,
it is.
fuck.
Okay. So, Thorn kind of translates almost like a pause in thought. And she responds with, the fact she wants a written contract. That she will not be taken to harm by anyone in this country.
Rosalind says, I have paper, I have ink. I'm not sure about a solid surface, but I believe we could come up with something with whatever is lying around here.
Then who within your little traveling group has the biggest, most authority here?
That would
be
probably
Rosalind.
be me. Seeing as I have an actual signet ring. It's kind of in the noble starter equipment, it's still on my sheet.
Yeah.
And Thorn lets you know that she's basically coming closer. And she appears directly behind Hal'qarim.
Alright. Let's find somewhere to sit down and figure out the wording.
Yeah. You can still very clearly see that she's very jumpy.
Yeah, reasonable.
The kind of necklace she had on before around her, basically the pendant, has gone from a cold blue to a pale gray now. Yeah, it was.
Ooh. Fuck.
Thank you for
Ooh.
advantage. 1 in 20.
You're not a soldier.
Yeah.
You see her kind of sit down and twist her hand, and as she kind of goes down,
No,
What?
he's gone.
He's gone.
We begin early today.
Uh-huh.
He did mention potential... Or did he? That was Devon.
What?
Didn't you mention potential mic issues, or was that Conrad and I'm confused?
No, that was me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is the usual Wi-Fi fuckery that he
Yeah.
has to grapple with.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, we're taking this very lightly.
Lightly.
Yes. She almost got away.
Yeah.
Oh, she almost got away.
But then she came back, so, you know,
Yes.
it's a win, take it.
It's a win, but I'm saying we should be taking precautions that we're not taking right now.
Yeah, Ash is in charge of those, okay?
Okay, because he got kind of... I was under the impression that busting down the door and tying her up would be against, negotiations that were being had at the time.
Yeah, it would be, so,
Yeah.
okay, don't.
So, yeah, so how do I take precautions? Because she's going to try to get away.
She'll probably be less likely with this contract in hand.
Yeah,
And assurances of
got-
safety and so forth.
yeah, we got lucky right now, but
Yeah, we did.
it can't...
Look,
Ash is going
I'm
to have to talk
sorry.
with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand this. Like, I would very much be happy if this was the way we could go, but this is risky.
In all honesty,
And-
Devin, no matter what path we took, it would be risky.
Yes, but I'm just saying in the more, I guess the more straightforward options, there'd be less risks, but potentially somewhat less reward.
Test.
There you are.
Yeah, like I said, no good options. So she does kind of sit down and request that Hal'qarim lend her his shield for a moment. And he does, kind of looking very flabbergasted at this whole situation, especially as to how she got behind him.
Astra's just gonna go over here.
And you see her kind of like reach into her pocket, pull out like this fancy pen, and start writing out a contract and to go, what's your preferred language? Common?
Common. It's the one that all of us can naturally read and write.
I just want to make sure it's different depending where you go. And she starts like writing for about 5-10 minutes. She got this like very fancy paper she's writing on, made of this like really sturdy stuff it looks like. And when she's done it, essentially reads out to, on the honor and to the punishment, if broken, of whoever signs this contract, it is guaranteed that the Zodiac, while before and after they remain a Zodiac, will be Zodiac Aquarius, will be granted full protection from all harm that may come to them on this plane, until negotiations are completed and the writer of this contract is satisfied.
Please, I would point out all harm. We don't know what we're going to come across. Even if we're set upon by wild beasts or bandits with a death wish, there is a chance you could come to some harm, even if we do our utmost to protect you. I would
Also,
like at least a
until-
clause saying that in these incidents we are not at complete fault.
Also, until the writer is satisfied, it seems a bit open-ended. And allows you a lot more
Leniency.
leniency than we would prefer to have.
How about this then? And she writes afterwards, and until they are satisfied, they also guarantee upon punishment of themselves that they will not attempt to escape, unless a previous clause is broken. And they adjust harm to serious harm.
Mm-hmm. Serious or deliberate, perhaps.
And no harm will come to the other side either.
Well, that has nothing to do with my contract. I don't plan to fight back, I'm not stupid.
No, but can you put it in writing if that's the case?
Sure. And she writes that once more Zodiac Aquarius, before, after, and during, will not attempt harm on anyone who signs this contract. If you want my trust, and you want me not to attempt, sign it. She lays it out on the shield.
Alright.
She hands you each the pen.
So it's basically we cannot let her come to serious harm deliberately, and she cannot bring harm to us as long as she's on this plane and is a Zodiac.
And after she is a Zodiac.
Oh, okay.
And you do notice as soon as whoever picks up the pen first that it is a magical pen.
Alright.
Esyther will sign.
Yeah, Rosalind will sign.
Does anyone not sign?
Ashta might... I guess Esther already said she signed, but Ashta might ask for an identify on the paper and pen.
Yeah, Esther, if you want, you can. The paper is just paper.
Mm-hmm.
The pen, though, is essentially ink that if the contract is broken, it transmits some kind of signal.
Interesting. Okay.
Is that relayed to the group?
Mm-hmm. Perhaps a bit later.
You can still telepathy it, basically.
Yeah, true, through the Fain.
Yeah.
Well, Ashta-
Hal'qarim also does sign it, by the way.
Now, I do note that the contract is all about coming to harm or causing harm, and so I assume that matters such as your missing soldier, our glimmer, negotiations, and so on are to be negotiated a little bit more freely and as we go along.
Well, as of right now, I'm your prisoner. So, do what you want, I suppose, unless you plan to break the contract.
I fully intend not to do so.
She kind of turns to Ashton and says, "You know, if you had asked me to come to this plane, perhaps with my own guards, I would have been willing. I mean, it would have taken some time to get the kind of proper paperwork done.
And you would have let your master know in advance, and you would have let all the other Zodiacs know in advance, right?
Yes, and they already know that you were there with me. At least my master does, and one other. So I'm not sure what you expect."
I made the choice because the way I see it, this is a hell of a lot of a better place to negotiate. This is the only chance we're going to get to have you shift or break it anyway from the rest of the Zodiacs, the ones who wanted to wipe out half of our country.
You know, if you'd started the conversation with that, I might have almost been on your side.
Yeah, well, then your friend came walking into your plane, so sorry if we didn't have the most time to lay this out.
No, I know, but especially if you hadn't told me you were technically not on either side, but that's for another time, I suppose. You gonna chain me up, or am I walking freely?
Walking freely.
Hold on,
Ashta,
what's on?
no.
Where's that string you used to communicate? What about that amulet?
She pulls out the string, it's just a piece of copper wire. And the amulet, she kind of points to the ice. It does that. I don't know the spell normally, I need the amulet to do it.
He puts his hand out.
She kind of shrugs and hands it to you. You're not going to be able to use it.
What about your weapon?
Ashta. She's already signed a contract not to harm us, and she wouldn't... She's right,
Magic
it would
items
be
are
foolish.
fickle, Rosalind. Look what mine can do, and he pulls it out, and the ghost appears behind him. Doesn't need to be able to stab us well for it to be a way for her to get contact.
And it also could cause further troubles. If, as I said, if we are beset by something on the road, wouldn't you rather everybody in the party be able to fight back and support one another?
And the odds of us running into some sort of danger past luck is relatively probable.
If we run into such a situation where we're desperately in need of her help, we have other concerns.
I'm not even worried about desperately in need of her help.
Then I'll take the blows for her.
You know that's a half measure at best.
And that's also not the point.
My concern, look, we've dug our... Hello?
I think Conrad's having mic troubles.
I'm good, she's connected.
Okay, good.
Look, we've dug our heels in hard here. Maybe she's gone easier if we just simply had different talks, and things went differently and the other Zodiac didn't show up. But the point of the fact is that that's not the situation we're in now. The situation we're in right now is we have a prisoner. And we have a prisoner who has the right to not attack us and not to try to escape. But that's it.
From another person.
And we have a prisoner who up until 5 minutes ago would have been happy to just completely walk out of here and find a way back to her plane.
From another perspective, we have a potential ally. A little bit of trust given could be an investment.
There's already trust in us not tying her up, in us signing this contract, in us doing our best to make sure she doesn't come to harm. I would love if we could just simply have this and just have writings and conversations. But it's not going to work like that. There are some warmongers in her group who I'm sure would be happy to blow up whatever town because we crossed them. We can't take chances here. We have a target on our back right now. They knew we were in there. Caution is required just as much as trust is.
You actually see Aquarius unbuckle her sword belt and throw it at your feet, and remove her black breastplate, throw that as well, and drop a wand in front of you and says, "Take them if you want, but if I come to harm, that contract's broken."
If you come to serious harm.
Correct. If you don't trust me with my weapons, then be prepared to protect me.
Fine.
I'm sure you can at least keep breastplate and she shoots a look at Ashta.
No, it's also magical.
We can have them identified first, and then returned.
Go ahead.
Alright, Esyther will identify, I guess.
Yep. So the half plate that she wears basically resists cold, both in damage and for side effects. The wand is a wand of control winds, and the amulet is an amulet of wall of ice.
Just wall of ice?
Seemingly that one is empty.
Give her her breastplate back.
Yep, he gives it back.
And her wand.
How did you appear behind us before?
That I will keep to myself. Just in case the need does arrive when the contract is broken that I need to escape.
And Ashta gives a look over at everyone.
Okay. All you have to do is not break the contract. Don't have to worry about it.
It's my job to worry about it.
It is.
Then worry yourself. I'll keep my magic secrets to myself.
As well.
Her weapons do no harm. Give them back.
Did we identify the sword?
It's just a non-magical scimitar.
Alright. He gives the scimitar and the wand back.
Alright.
We can have further checks later.
Well,
As for now,
if that's enough, we have quite a bit of walking to do.
You guys don't actually know where you are.
Fair
Ashta,
enough.
do you have any idea where we are?
does Asha have any idea where we are?
Yeah, we're fucking
We'll
lost,
survival
guys.
check.
Alright.
It's just like, we have a lot of walking to do. And Kai's is just like, yes, we do. We have no idea where we fucking are.
Yeah, you can definitely guess that you're in the southeastern portion of the country. Where precisely? That's tough to say.
With a 20, he can't guess within, like, environments.
You can guess that you're definitely like within essentially that tri-border of the three areas I mentioned before, but you could be anywhere within 50 kilometers of it.
Okay.
It meets at like a couple different points. You can tell vaguely because of where the direction of, if you probably got higher, certain mountains, if you saw the patchwork forests, maybe even one of the cities, you might be able to tell exactly where you are. But for now, you've got a general idea that you're vaguely southeastern of Darren and vaguely and very far, but still somewhere south of Lucerne.
Rosalind, can you send Thorn up, give an aerial view, and send the image to me?
Well, yes, I believe we can relay that. And she'll send Thorn up and basically tell Thorn without his distance she'll go up mentally with him, so to speak. She'll look through his eyes at his height, and then she can she use the Fain to throw that image to Ashta?
Yeah. And you do so, and unfortunately the best you can do is vaguely see the mountain that has what's probably the citadel, or at least part of the mountain range.
Oh,
So
Rosalind's
you
not
know
trying.
you're not
Rosalind's not the one trying to identify this. She's just picking up the image and bouncing it
just
on.
basically, like, once it gets back to Ashta, then
Mhm.
survival again. I'm assuming it's the same survival check because it's a decent check. You can't tell. You can tell that you're at least not further south than the most southern part of the mountains. But even with the height you're at, you'd have to go much further to be able to tell where the forests are, it seems.
Alright, but he would know it, like, just basically the direction we should go to get a better view and to go kind of just closer to civilization, yeah?
Yeah, if you are like in that border, if you go northeast, you'll get to the Glisten Tors, which are all hills, so that should be able to help.
Alright.
You might very distantly see the edge of the patchwork forest, but not with enough kind of shape to know much about it. Just that you're not directly south of Darrencourt, you're a little bit to the east.
Okay. And he'll relay that. So, you're right, we do have a bit of a walk ahead of us. Although, and he'll put his fingers to his mouth and just do the whistle out of curiosity.
Yeah. You wait a minute, no response, it seems.
Alright. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Considering what he is, I don't think you need to worry.
Yes, a little birdie god told me that he's probably found his way back. Let's see. Make sure I don't have a ranger stuff for this situation.
You can't get lost by non-magical means, but being planar transported is magical.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, knowing where we are from here and stuff.
Oh, after you travel for a while, you'll get a much better idea, but by staying stationary, it's very difficult to tell.
Yep.
It's hard to triangulate with only 2 points, basically.
Rosalind's going to just do feign telepathy to the group and ask them, well, tell them she brought up the soldier as a point of interest. Should we look into that first, or should we go to Lucerne and then backtrack if needed after Orizar? The first option is on the way. We don't have to go back and forth. It takes less time. The second, we could potentially have support from Orizar if he
Yes, I would
agrees.
say we get to Orizar so that if we need to, we can leave Aquarius with him and make our way to the city such that we're not walking into the city of the Diviner with Aquarius.
That would also be a good point.
Yes.
Not to say that it's not going to be a pain in the ass with her there anyways, but... Oh, also, Asha is going to walk over to Aquarius and just... No harm will come to you, but I'd like to cast a spell.
Go ahead. The contract breaks, contract breaks. Alright. Did you collect any diamond dust? Any time?
Do you want some diamond dust?
You know what? I don't think I specified.
You need some diamond dust, Ashley?
Yeah, was I diamond dust?
I have 300 gold pieces worth of diamond dust.
Why?
Create a restoration.
Fair enough.
Then yeah, he'll hand her 25 gold.
They will take it and give you 25 gold worth of diamond dust.
Alright. And yeah, you sprinkle it upon her, and the spell kind of settles as this strange glitter-like armor over her. It's kind of focused around the kind of crown of the head as well as the temples. But after a moment, it kind of blinks, and then it's no longer shiny. You could just see these tiny crystals on her head.
And Asha might bring up to Zinnia just over telepathy that we might be using a bit of that. He's willing to pay her back. Probably need some more when we get to Lucerne.
And you see Hal'qarim kind of tap on your shoulder, Ashta. And he kind of pulls out from his pocket this very expensive-looking diamond and say, "They're pretty common in Darncore."
He just kind of.
Are we going to be going there? I can pick up more if you need me to.
It's yes, but we might be having some stops before then, and we might need it before then. Unfortunately.
I know a couple small towns where my family's businesses run that we can stop by and pick some up there if you need. It's on the way. It's nothing nearly as big as the big cities.
I believe we should go to Lucerne first.
It's on the way. It's part of the tours.
Well, if it's on the way and
If we happen to be making a stop.
yes.
I have a map. Once you can show me where on the map we are, I can direct you.
We'll need to travel a bit more for that, but
Well, let's start.
I hope this will suffice for now. And he kind of hands the diamond towards Ashta. And you can tell it's easily worth like 500 gold pieces.
he turns it and is like, "You wouldn't happen to know a way of turning this to dust, would you?"
Mortar and pestle. Magical ones. Actually, whoever has the enchantment kit, it has one of those.
Rosalind. Rosalind could do it, probably. But we're gonna do that after we have walked as far as we can for the day. We are wasting time.
Yeah, he just kind of like turns it in his hands and then throws it back to Hal'qarim. We'll use it if we need it.
Alright, just let me know. I think I have a couple smaller ones in my jewelry.
Well, then. And Rosalind turns and starts walking.
Which direction do you start walking?
Presumably north. Did anybody
Alright.
point?
Ashta is leading.
The sun is very high in the sky, so it's pretty easy to see.
Ashta will lead, but he will also request that Aquarius basically stay like nearby or / in front of him.
Yeah, she just basically steps.
Well, him or Zinnia.
In that case, she'll step towards Zinnia, because Zinia's been a little bit less openly threatening.
He's the spooky man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Rosalind is going to, at some point during the travel, because pure curiosity, she's going to ask Aquarius what the plants in her office were called and how they grew in such cold temperatures.
She kind of gives you this strange look and says, "Well, I mean, if you're really curious, it's this kind of... It grows further in the plane of air. I don't know its name exactly. I'm not much of a gardener. But it provides fresh air and warm air, so I take care of them the best I can."
Well, that sounds very handy. I keep a small garden. Yeah, noted. And Rosalind's just gonna kind of tell her a little bit about her gardening, and she's never seen plants like that, but of course, plane of air, so.
She kind of, after a little bit of uncomfortable silence, she starts getting into different kind of, more of the ice-based plants. She mentions the kind of winter roses you guys are familiar with here.
Yeah, Rosalind was about to bring that up, too.
Yeah, and she mentions that they're actually originally from the plane of ice, at least so people say, hundreds of years ago. And there's a number of plants like that, like trees that the fruits are icicles, but if you bite into them, it's got warm water on the inside that can give you nutrients for days. And just magical plants like that, essentially.
Okay. Rosalind is being a little bit of a nerd and learning things on the walk, so.
Yeah. She's not, seems to be hiding much, and, yeah. It's relatively easy conversation after about half an hour or so.
Yeah. That's pretty much what Rosalind was after.
Also, just as they're going, Asha would ask that, maybe every 10-20 minutes, Thorn goes up and does a swing around and send an image.
Yep.
And how long do you guys walk for? Because that will change how his response gets.
We walk as long as it takes? I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the sun in the sky right now?
It is dead noon.
Okay. So, probably till 4.
Okay. So after about 4 hours, just by your own pace, you've traveled probably about 10, 15 miles. You kind of pause for a second, and Thorn lets you know that you've gotten away from the desert. It's way in the past. And that very, very, very distantly, a city that might be Darncore is to the northeast, northwest. Sorry, but mostly north.
Okay.
And when you get the image, it corroborates pretty well.
And he just might think and just he'll telepathy around that they're kind of close to Darncore. Maybe we should go around.
How close is close? Because I thought Conrad said still distant.
Yeah, it's still like more than a day's movement.
Yeah, I'm
At
not
full
worried.
pace.
Yeah, I'm not worried about skirting that close to Darncore.
Yeah,
If we
well,
were gonna,
as of right now,
if
but
we were gonna
yeah,
walk straight into its walls, then sure, let's go around. But if it's a day's travel distant perpendicular,
he just means give it a wide berth if possible.
I'd say a day's travel is a pretty wide berth.
Okay. Yeah.
Reminder: you are mostly south of it, and going directly north.
Okay, so we do need to swing outwards.
Yeah.
You probably won't run directly into the city unless you angle towards it, but you'll get pretty close to it.
Ashta, if possible, would kind of get going such that they have basically half a day's travel away from Darncore at all times.
Rosalind's going to bring up the
And-
map thing and the potential for getting supplies at town, because we do need to have supplies for one more person in the party for the next several days of travel. We might not have
If,
gone equipped for this.
Ashta brings up he can forage.
Yes, and who's going to give up their bedroll?
Esther will.
What I'm saying is, if we find a town, if we can resupply a little bit, then it'll be just a little easier, and it might let you angle outwards the way you want to. Let's at least see if it's potentially on our route.
Alright, but I might recommend some of us stay out of on the outskirts of the town with Aquarius.
Alright.
I'm assuming this is like an out loud conversation.
This is Fain.
Yeah, in that case, after you guys travel 4 more hours, I assume in a slightly more eastern direction to get away from Darncore. And you know around now it's getting close to 8 o'clock. It's about time that you normally begin making the camp, especially because it's getting dark earlier.
Well, I'd say by 30, Ashta would ask for some more diamond powder.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, at what time?
Like 7:30. The duration
Okay.
for non-detection is 8 hours.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Then yeah, if Zinnia is willing to supply it, Zinnia can supply it.
But you'll count out another 25 gold.
Thank you.
Then yeah.
But
That's
he
fair,
also
okay.
kind of looks and he's like, okay, I'm gonna have to start going to platinum soon.
You can just keep it.
Actually, no. I can, me as a player, can do 2 platinum and 5 gold.
You can just keep the dust. Honestly, it's fine.
Just put it on my tab. Put it that way. Pay you
No,
back.
no.
Oh dear.
Sorry, bad phrase of habit.
You see Hal'qarim and Aquarius kind of just chatting away as they go on, because you guys are kind of in your own discussions right now.
Ashta might kind of, if he notices that, just eavesdrop a little.
Yeah, you do the whole time. It's very similar to kind of the things Rosalind was talking about. He asked more about like the kind of magics that made her office so comfortable, and like the things she used for her windows that kept the cold out so well, that kind of thing. Maybe like how they discovered the dragon skeleton to live in, kind of thing.
Also, just player curiosity, could you like show us like Aquarius's art, like in like a little pop-up, if possible? Just because the token's kind of small.
Yeah. So the art I have, that it would pop up as a thing, is the art that you got in the dream.
Okay.
But I will make it really big on the map you guys are on instead.
I guess.
Make it really big.
Esther does want to be, I suppose, walking
Aquarius suddenly
alongside
jumps
her.
to like 90 feet tall.
Ant-Man.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm just gonna leave the token there because I'm working on the map thing just to keep track of where you guys are.
Okay.
Well, Esther would like to, I guess, talk with her. She wants to talk about, like, tribes and stuff like that.
Yeah. So about now, you guys will be getting settled for camp, like I said. Actually, you've got a much better idea of where you are. You're pretty much even with the southernmost edge of the patchwork forests.
Alright.
So you're in this kind of little horn that dips into the Glisten Tor.
Actually, at this point, could you just move us to, like, the big map?
Yeah, I'm just going to make the token that normally symbolizes you guys a bit bigger to give you the kind of range of where you probably are.
Okay. Does Aquarius glow in the dark?
Her tattoos do.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant.
Is it tattoos or is it Soldar?
It is tattoos.
Interesting.
Is her hair kind of like the opposite of Esther's, in which it's kind of just flowing a lot?
Yeah, so it's always moving, like no matter what, for some reason.
Does it look like she's underwater all the time?
Air.
No, it's more like the kind of like superhero in the wind.
Oh, right, air, yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Well, Esther's gonna sit down next to her and, your tattoos, are they born with them or were they...
Oh, no, each soldier who joins the, my forces, they get to give me one tattoo.
I like that. It's very interesting bonding.
It shows my trust for them and the fact that I will never be able to forget them.
You're a very talented and brave leader. I admire that.
That's why I was chosen. I do my best.
How is the choosing process? I am quite curious of how it might compare to something I am more used to.
That's a little bit different for each one. They need one from each region of the elemental planes. So essentially, whoever's deemed most capable by either the biggest city in that area or by whoever has the most influence just before the war started was elected Zodiac by other influential people. My master put me forward and he has political power, so I was elected.
Interesting.
There weren't many people willing to take over the freezing-ass wastelands.
Well, if it's anything, I'm quite glad that it was you who was chosen. You seem like a perfect fit.
Yeah, well, I try. As you can see, things don't always go my way, but I do what I can.
I do apologize for, I suppose, the abruptness.
You're not the one who used the magic item.
Ash just sneezes off in the distance as he collects some random berries.
You're like 15 feet away, yeah. As you begin setting down camp, you see she kind of sits down on the ground and just snaps her finger and a little bonfire appears in front of her.
That's an
Is it
interesting
just fire, or is it like the wood and the stones too?
Nope, just the fire.
Is that prestidigitation?
No, just little heat spell. Great bonfire, I think you people call it.
Oh, if you require fire.
I'm more used to taking care of myself there, sorry.
No, it's no trouble.
Believe me, we understand. Your tribe, where you come from, is it from the plane of ice?
Oh, I'm not from a tribe, I'm from a big city.
Oh, interesting.
But, unfortunately, I probably shouldn't talk too much about where I'm from.
No, that's respectable. I mean, I can understand. Sometimes Genasi aren't taken too kindly here.
Yeah, I've been told. It's one of the reasons I was trying to get as many people out of here as I could, but couldn't get any refugee portals set up. Wouldn't let me.
I know that in the case of a potential war, my people would be very grateful for it.
I was making headway there, but I'm sure my absence has been noted, and if they don't assume I just defected, then who knows, maybe I can reestablish that. I just hope my men don't get punished for me being gone.
I really hope so as well.
You see her kind of go quiet at this and kind of just reach into her pocket and pull out what seems to be a small tent, place it on the ground. It slowly grows bigger. She kind of crawls into it. It's not much more room than she could fit in, but it's just big enough for her. And she kind of zips up the door.
Esther's gonna look and go, oh shit, Pyrrhus. Just let him out.
And yeah, you do. He kind of gets basically shaken outside of the pot. And he kind of stumbles to the ground, comes to full size, and just kind of, he kind of says through Thorn to you, just because you guys are warm doesn't mean I was inside of there.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I made myself a fireplace.
You know what? I don't even blame you, because that is completely justified. Do you need warmth? Are you still cold?
Nah, it's been a few hours. I'm pretty good at heating myself up if I need to. Although the carpets are kind of ruined.
It's fine. The carpets are not concerned, I promise.
He kind of curls up next to the fire, and then
She might just walk by and just tell it to my uncle.
I will tell it to your uncle, and I will deal with your uncle. If I get shot by your uncle, then hey, that's how it goes.
you see just as Pyrrhus kind of curls up to the bonfire, it just kind of snuffs itself out.
Oh. Esther will relight a fire.
And this time I assume it's like wood burning rather than magical, and and he kind of sits inside of the coals and just soaks up the heat.
Asha might kind of look into everyone, might just do a hand motion to basically go into the, because I assumed the building was put up basically.
No, Pyrrhus was just kind of shaked outside of the vase.
Oh, we can do that?
Yeah, as soon as you cross the barrier for the vase, you fit whatever size you would be.
Okay.
Did he come out with a shower of copper pennies he's picked up from the road?
No, because you can turn it horizontal and then upside down and nothing changes. It's more so just shaking so he knows to fly out.
Oh, I see.
Otherwise, if it tipped over inside the bag, it would scatter everything across the walls.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wondered.
That would be a nightmare.
You just do a quick knock on the side of the pot and he knows.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's kind of like you're shaking out spice, but you're worried you're going to get too much.
What a description.
Yep.
But still in that case, Ash might ask that it be put up then.
Esther's gonna put it up. and just gonna go, just allow me to look inside first.
And you too. And I assume at this point, Zinnia, you've cast your Hearth of Shadow, right?
Yep.
Alright. And yeah, you bring it up, and it does smell a little bit like smoke, the building.
Mm.
And you step inside, and you see every single wall is singed. And all the carpets are gone. And he probably made this entire place into a fire pit.
Hey, it's actually a lot better than I anticipated.
What did you anticipate?
A lot worse.
Did you notice something you didn't notice before? The kind of wave pattern on the outside of the vase is actually mirrored on the inside of the cabinet about halfway up the walls.
Interesting.
Although it's mostly covered in soot right now.
Ash could look in.
Yeah, you see it, and it is, effectively looks like it was lit on fire, but the walls didn't burn down. But the table that used to be in there is gone, the bed that used to be in there is gone, the chairs that used to be in there are gone. And there's also, pennies and silver pieces everywhere.
Ashta just like,
Well, I don't think the rest of us are going to be using that.
we might, but not for sleeping. We need to talk.
While you do that, I'm going to run to the bathroom. Hal'qarim is keeping guard at Aquarius.
Good, because we were going to ask him to.
Yep, I was.
Yeah. I assume that one of you just asked him to, because I figured at least one of you would.
Yeah, and we gotta give Hal'qarim a bit more of the creep cred, if you catch my drift. He's becoming too nice.
Yeah.
Like, offering the diamond should have been to Lady Rosalind, just there's plenty more where that came from.
Yeah. Oh, that's a missed opportunity.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you desire more, my heart is filled with them for you. Or some gross shit.
And then Caius would have gone, shut the fuck up.
Okay, someone needs to write Conrad's scripts.
Yeah. We're doing 10 script writing now.
Okay, anyway. So we go into the
Yeah,
hut
we need
and
to.
we're going to shop. We're gonna chat.
You're like the higher up. It's like up the factor on Hal'qarim. That's amazing.
I'm Hal'qarim's DM.
That's amazing.
yeah, Ashta will bring everyone in
Yep.
So
and just. Okay. So there's no going back from what we just did today.
yeah, no, this is irreversible.
We've noticed.
This was a bad decision, even by my standards.
I wouldn't go that far.
It wasn't necessarily
A bad decision probably would have been just murdering her.
Fair enough.
A bad decision would leave it so that you're not breathing to say it was a bad decision.
Or that.
Fair enough.
This was an decision.
This was inadvisable at best.
Simple fact is, we have to do with it what we can.
Yes.
And knowing what we now do, how are we going to make it work?
As best we can. I think Orzur is our first and possibly best bet, at least as far as I can think or know.
That's within the week. I'm saying within the month. I'm saying within the year.
I don't know.
Where are we
It
going
depends.
with this? We need some sort of...
We need further answers. We need more concrete answers than Aquarius saying that she cannot tell us. We need to know what started the war. Basically, we need the information Conrad gave us out of game.
I was under the impression that she gave us that on the way.
No, let me tell you guys about that.
What?
What?
You guys wouldn't have had that conversation yet.
Yeah.
You guys have been talking casual stuff, you said, since you
Pretty
started
much.
walking.
So that's going to be probably tomorrow. If
Alright,
she'll talk.
So fucking
Or with
forget
Orzur.
everything I said about Ashta. Throw that out the window. We're good.
Okay.
We're continuing on.
Oh,
Just
okay.
sweeps up the room and that's it.
Okay. So you're not quite ready for the planning session because we don't have that info.
Yep, I was under the impression that people talking with Aquarius along the way was that too, because it was said so early on.
No, you guys said it was casual. That's a serious conversation.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, but because the
Yeah, I know.
information from that conversation was brought up so early.
No, I
Anyways.
realize that, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. If not during this travel, then for sure when we get Orzur. But I'm planning on bringing it up, if I can.
Okay. Then, yep, fucking throw that in the trash. No, so Asha will basically just kind of go into the place and take at least a few, half an hour, just wipe some of the really bad soot and just kind of pile his coins in one corner.
Yeah, you see Pyrrhus kind of look at you and growl something, and you're not sure where.
Asha, without knowing what it is, looks over to him and growls back.
He kind of looks perplexed, and you're not sure where Thorn is, but Thorn does send you the translation. The translation is, "Oh, you're making a donation," and then, "What'd you say about my mother?"
And then he continues on, and he doesn't say anything and just cleans the place up a bit.
All right.
Rosalind might poke her head in and ask, do you want a little bit of help with that?
I'm doing what I can for now. I was gonna leave it for whatever anyone else wants to clean later.
I can
But if
do
you'd like to help,
small
free.
sections every 6 seconds.
Yeah, and with Rosalind's help, after about half an hour, it's pretty much spotless.
Yeah, you can point her towards the really hard bits that you can't quite scrub away. Prestidigitation probably can do heavy lifting, right?
It can do pretty good work, unless you're looking for like a deep cleanse, like you're good.
No. Yeah.
I was gonna say, could you also just like kind of like polish off the coins too?
Oh yeah, no, but all the coins are spotless already.
Okay.
I wouldn't advise touching his coin.
It's hard not to. You kind of kick them around whenever you walk.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't care. And so he walks out, and he just kind of like he leans down in front of Pyrrhus, but he kind of like motions Thorn to come over.
Thorn is just consistently paying attention to this point, just to translate.
Okay, and he'll just go on in front of him, and it's like, okay, we're sorry what we did and not keeping you warm, but from now on, not allowed to burn the whole place down.
Well, I had to keep warm somehow. I don't know if I would have survived otherwise.
It's okay now.
Well,
This doesn't mean it's okay later.
Don't make me cold again, and I won't burn again.
I don't know what your threshold for cold is.
Not wherever the hell we were. Usually I'm fine. I know it's winter, but I don't know what you guys did, but it was cold.
Yeah, we probably should have at least stuck a cloth on the top of it or something.
Well, I mean, just give me some wood. I had to make my own fire.
Well, he just thinks for a second, and he like asks the group, like, do they sell fireplaces without the house?
Doesn't the house have a fireplace?
It does. It doesn't have any wood in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it had like a chimney.
You know, it doesn't have much of a chimney. It's literally just like a slot on the back of it. It's not a full-size chimney.
Okay. Yeah,
It's kind of like, yeah, it's a very small fireplace. It's meant more to cook food than to keep people warm.
Okay, yeah. In which case, yeah, he'll just... I'm sure we could buy some for not much in Lucerne.
Yeah, please do. Also, can you ask Esther to feed me?
Yes,
Esther
sir.
would have already done.
Yeah.
Esther, the shiny goblin, wants food.
Listen, angry dwarf. My shiny goblin will get all of who he requires, and then she'll go and she'll feed him.
Yep. And you know you already fed him today.
Oh yeah, I know. He's just
Yeah.
being a shit.
Just mark off
it's
another
also-
kilogram of food.
Yeah, it's also, pity because let him freeze.
And you see he kind of like munches on it and enjoys it, kind of like a dog with a bone until it's just gone. And he kind of like gives this big yawn and goes, "Yeah, can I go hunting? I haven't had fresh food in so long."
I don't think right now.
But I can smell the ore everywhere, please.
Mm,
And it's just like, oh yeah, we're right by Darren Core, aren't we?
Not super close, but the Glisten Tors are known for their gems and ores.
Yeah, let's go invade a dwarf mine and get in trouble.
Asher brings up the idea that instead of having to clean the mortar and pestle, you just give it to Pyrrhus to lick out.
He would probably really enjoy that.
Yeah,
Fair
I'll
yeah.
consider it after I've taken care of that. First though, Ashta, do you have 6 seconds for a little bit of charm training?
wait, real quick. Pyrrhus, is it possible that you can smell ores that haven't been tapped by other people?
I mean, they're probably deeper underground.
How long would it take for you to go get them?
Well, I don't know. Depends on how much I eat. Depends what other ores I find. I can sense something tasty nearby.
Ashta, can you go get something to eat?
Do you think it's really that good of an idea, especially when we're transporting Aquarius, to have the gold dragon go off gallivanting on adventures?
No, I really don't. That's why I was asking you.
Esther?
To be the voice of reason.
Yes?
A bit more like a deer. I mean, I've had a lot of ore, and ore doesn't really go bad. It's already kind of old. I haven't had meat in forever.
Oh. Can he just go get a deer, I guess?
In fact, yeah, we were under the impression he was looking.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
you
that-
guys asked him about ore. He answered about ore.
Yeah, but you said like the.
I want to go hunting. I can smell the ore everywhere.
Yeah, because it's getting me excited is what I meant, sorry.
Oh.
That was very not what it was implied.
Yeah, I didn't
But,
understand that.
Yeah, in that case, yeah, Ashton might just go looking for food and bring him along.
Yeah, if you do, then yeah, when you go to kind of get some... It's mostly smaller game around here. They actually do found like a couple rabbits, if that's what you choose to do. Maybe some, maybe a beaver, honestly.
Beaver?
Yeah, beavers. There's a lot
I
of
guess,
stream. Yeah, there's a lot of streams that run through the hills. So yeah.
I guess so.
Stink rat.
It's just more so what it would taste like.
Vanilla.
What?
Yeah,
Apparently.
she's not wrong.
Apparently beaver butts smell like vanilla. They've got scent glands that have a very strong vanilla scent. I can't remember
What?
where I picked that up, but
No,
unless I'm
she's right.
wrong,
Why does the only non-Canadian in the group know this?
I don't.
No, she's
Is that
right.
why beaver tails are what they are?
Hey, be
For
fair, Sky
artificial-
knew.
Yeah, for artificial vanilla, they used to secrete the anal glands of beavers.
Is that why beaver tails are what they are?
Oh,
That's just
fucking
fried up.
Christ,
I just-
maybe.
I just know about that one like big rodent that smells like popcorn. Or maybe
What?
some marsupial.
What the fuck
What?
is wrong with this planet?
There's like this fluffy, like there's this like big fluffy animal that like smells like popcorn. And that's just like the thing they
Oh
are.
shit! Yeah.
Give me a minute, I'm gonna popcorn
anyway.
rat.
Okay.
Oh.
Anyway, Ashton goes
Anyway.
hunting.
Yeah. Roll me survival to see how good of food you get, basically.
Could he get advantage because he's got Pyrrhus?
Basically how much you get is multiplied by Pyrrhus.
Okay.
Because he has things like blind sense, so... yeah, okay, so you easily find, like, a dozen rabbits, like a family of 4 or 5 fully grown beavers, and, easily as many birds you care to hunt.
Been wrong.
Do I have
Pyrrhus
to count animal souls for essence?
No.
Okay.
I'm assuming that she doesn't even care to eat them, really. But yeah, no, Pyrrhus eats 3 of the beavers on his own. You can see he's getting just a little bit chunky.
Yeah, somebody's
so
gonna
I-
need a
I'd-
diet.
I'd say 2 beavers Ashton might.
Ashtamite.
Sorry, yeah, I'm cutting out.
Yeah.
Ashton might stop him at 2 beavers.
And he's kind of like ravenously, like, trying to get behind you to the other beaver. It's like, what?
Also, I assume we took Thorn with us.
Yeah.
He'll just, like, do the finger wag. It's like, you're getting... You can't just eat all you want.
I haven't had meat in so long. I'm a growing boy, please.
Yes, you are
I'm a
growing around
growing
the waistline.
I'm growing in every direction. Just please, I hunted it, please.
I shot this one, you hunted the last.
Fine, I'll go hunt another one then. And he flies off.
Back here, mister.
He's gone.
Get back here, you tiny goblin.
He comes back like 2 minutes later with like 3 beavers hanging from his tails. He's like struggling to fly towards you. He drops 2 of them in front of you. Their necks are already snapped, and he just like eats the other one in midair. There was a bear over there too. Do you want it?
You get 1 more, and then and then any more you're gonna have to ask Esyther.
Do you want to go hunt that bear?
You gotta ask mom, bitch.
What?
Ask mom.
Wait, I might just like ask for like Thorn to relay what he saw the bear as.
It's as you get it. It's basically just a brown bear, just seemingly eating salmon from a stream.
Ashley kind of like shakes and says like, "We've got enough."
Okay.
The
I think
entire, the entire country's at war because people are overusing resources. We don't need to teach dragons
don't
this
know
either. Damn it.
Yeah, and either way, he's a dragon. That's what he does.
Yep.
And yeah, he goes, well, either way, I think he's angry that I stole his beavers. Let's go.
Oh my god.
And you look at the beavers once more, and the claw marks are distinctly not dragon.
That's just sighs. It quietly as he can gets out of there.
Yeah, Pyrrhus is flying, so he makes almost no noise. Yeah, you guys get out of there, no problem. But you guys come back and there's a ton of food. Was it Zinnia? Were you vegetarian or no? I can't recall.
No.
Okay, that's one of the other druids. Okay. Yeah, you have your meal. It tastes very gamey, but it's good. There's honestly more than enough left over that you guys have food for tomorrow as well.
Esther is proud.
Yep.
The
Astro
chunk
might
boy.
go over to the two Aquarius. Oh, check.
I can hear you.
Astra might just go over to Aquarius's tent and just like give like a tap on the fabric.
You don't hear a response from within.
There's food if you want some.
Yeah, still nothing.
Refusing to eat is not us. And he just walks off.
You cut
And
out
then
a
he,
little
like-
bit in the middle there. Refusing to eat is something on us.
Refusing to eat is bringing harm to you, not is yourself bringing harm, not us.
Mhm.
He'll like stop on his like heel, and then just like go back and give a tap and just, you're still there, yeah?
Still no response, it seems.
I'm gonna open it if you don't respond. Okay, then he opens up the tent.
It seems she's asleep, her hand filled with these tiny berries. Just quietly asleep.
He's going to check to make sure it's actually her.
How so?
And like go and like tap the shoe, like such that she wouldn't feel it, but if it wasn't solid, he would know.
Yeah, you tap the shoe. Let's tap it more so like put a tiny amount of weight on the boot itself, so just the boot gets checked out as real, essentially. But yeah, it's solid.
She wasn't like injured at all in the coming here, was she?
Not that you saw.
Alright. Okay, in which case he just might give a shrug and remind himself in a few hours to come back and cast non-detection once more.
You will have to make sure
Actually-
you're awake for that, because reminder, you do sleep for 10 hours, not 8.
Actually, I might not have the slots for that. So, just check my book. That's not there.
Oh, I just remembered. We still have possible bomb.
We have what?
The possible bomb
The
from so
possible.
long.
What?
Esther still hasn't used her explosive device. We just lost Conrad.
I had it. I had used it way back when we had those dreams with like the nightmare
Mhm.
elf thingies. But at least we know it works.
Well, it worked in a dream.
Dream.
Oh, let's hope it works.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we can.
Actually, essentially, if you'd like, you can use the spell slot from tomorrow because it'll be midway through your long rest that you do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be fine with that then.
Zinnia, you might want to check if you can learn that spell through preparation.
What?
You might want to check if you can learn non-detection through preparing it.
I can't. It is a bard, wizard, and ranger spell.
Esther?
Yes.
She would have to know it in her book.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, would there be a way with Fain to get it to Esther?
It would take a significant amount of time, but yes.
To do what?
And essentially teach you a spell that Ashta knows.
And that spell is.
Non-detection. Which basically you cast it on one person and they're immune to divination magic for 8 hours.
Yeah. No, I know what it is. So I didn't really.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, yeah, he'll just for right now, but yeah, later he will use that one slot from tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
To cast it again, and grab some. Well, actually, because Rosalind crushed up the other diamond.
Not yet, she hasn't.
Oh, I was gonna do that outright, so it might have
Yeah,
happened
I
while you
will say-
hunted.
Yeah, I was just waiting while I was gonna. While you hunted, yeah, it didn't take longer than like 45 minutes, an hour to do the hunting.
Mhm.
So if you guys want to use an hour for whatever there, feel free to. But otherwise, you will not have much time for training. If you guys want to wake up at a decent time tomorrow.
Kind of figured. That's fine.
Well, Esyther's gonna ask. Oh, sorry, never mind.
I was just gonna say it was cut off, but Ashta might begrudgingly say yes to that 6-second training. Or wait, sorry, what was it? 6 minutes or seconds?
Seconds. It's the one
Okay.
turn Fey presence thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, she'll
he'll-
go ahead and pull him over to the side. And all right, same as last time. I'll ask a question after I've done what I have to do. If you resist the spell, you can tell me that you refuse to answer. If you succumb to it, then, well, you get to answer the question. Are you ready?
As I can be. Nope.
Tell me, Ashta, where are you ticklish?
Jim?
What do you mean, Jim?
Is like, is that like quantifiable with stats?
What do you mean? Where you're ticklish? No, decide where you're ticklish.
Well, I didn't.
You said that
Well, some
they
people are
weren't.
less than others.
You said that none of us were ever going to find out. Rosalind is determined now to find out. She took that as a challenge.
Where would he? Back of the knees.
Okay.
Oh, you ass.
And you come out of the rose haze and see
And you
Rosalind
blink.
with a gleefully smug face.
And you do see Ashta with this like look of despair.
Ashta, you can use an hour for training, and then time.
Esyther's gonna ask Caius to help with Draconian for an hour.
Yep.
Draconic.
Fuck.
Draco-
Fuck
Well,
off.
Draconian is a dope name. It is Draconic.
Okay.
All right. Everyone else, just mark it out for your own.
Out of
Rosalind,
curiosity-
for that hour, if you had the training, you could take an hour to grind up 100 gold pieces worth of dust.
Alright, does that not count as enchanting kit training?
I'll say you can, yeah.
Okay, then I'm just gonna go ahead and put it there. Because she is technically using the kit. Anyway. I was gonna ask, was anybody else in listening range when Rosalind did her question answer?
Ashta would have tried to make sure that they weren't.
Yeah, but ahead of time?
Sorry, I totally missed the question. What was?
Was anybody else in listening or hearing range when Rosalind asked Ashta her question?
I'm assuming that you guys typically walk away.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Ashta wouldn't agree to it like in the middle of the pit, like circle around the campfire.
Yeah.
Well, especially because it's an AoE effect.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like 10 feet, but
Yeah, still,
10-foot
no, you
cubes.
guys typically basically step outside the Hearth of Shadows.
alright, so she finds out and she goes, basically, so, how are you going to get me to swear to silence?
Uh-oh. Oh my god, this is,
State your terms.
I don't really have any. Do you have any offers?
You see his face like kind of like wince a bit.
Perhaps I'll just hold on to that information and see what comes up.
uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no.
Well,
Oh no.
look, there's got to be something. I don't. What would you want?
Rosalind just shrugs a little, still smiling.
Because I get the feeling I know what you want, and what you want is to be able to hold this over me.
Well, perhaps. However,
No
I'm...
perhaps about it.
Let's just say that if something ever comes up where this could be important...
Just not Esther.
I think you'd still have to buy that silence.
Yeah,
I just don't know exactly how yet. Maybe we'll have to think about it. But for now, I'll give you a grace period of, let's say, until we hit Lucerne at the very latest.
Oh my god.
I will
We're
tell
a
nobody.
cruel yet merciful princess. You understand that, yes?
Thank you. I won't tell anybody until then. And if we can come to terms on something, then we will. She pats him on the shoulder and heads back into the heart.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
I love Ross.
Oh my god. What the... I love that. I love that Ashta basically brought this upon herself.
Ashta pulls out Essence, switches to a hand crossbow, doesn't load a bolt, but pulls the string back anyways, and just like points it to his temple.
No!
As a reminder, that would still really hurt if you pull the trigger.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. Just and he just goes pew, and he puts her back and just walks back in.
Oh my
You
god.
know, kill him. You know, if you want to switch souls, you can just say so.
No, I'd. Come on, there's cooler ways to do it than a hand crossbow.
Yeah, true, but we don't have any explosives that I can turn into. Or at least I'd rather not turn into an explosive. That would hurt.
No, but like a great sword through the chest is, at least a.
Dramatic.
With
there can
those
be art put through.
with those spindly arms, good luck. Also, how would you hold the handle? That'd be way too far away.
Gravity would do the work.
Yeah, don't you know?
I mean, I
don't
suppose,
you know about
but
falling
I
on the
can't.
sword?
I also can't not. Remember, if you drop me, I just come back to your hands.
Keep talking like this, you're gonna get nothing but rabbit souls for the next bit.
I get the feeling that's happening anyways. Might as well enjoy it while I can.
Oof.
He just like gives a sigh. No winning.
You know, you promised me a Zodiac soul.
Not yet. Not this one.
This
Ooh.
one's spindly. You want one with more meat on the soul bones? I don't know.
The soul bones! Oh, the soul bones!
I'd argue she's got quite the spirit, but
What's
to each their
going
own,
on
I
the call?
suppose.
Well, yeah. You want more meat on the soul bones.
Ashta can't win.
That's going-
Ashta had all his winning yesterday against Rosalind, and now Rosalind has won ultimately.
And you see her kind of release from your shoulders and drift back into the weapon.
There we go. Just gotta.
Alright, so, last thing before everyone settles down to rest, Hal'qarim basically walks up to Ashta and says, did you figure out where we are yet?
And he just kind of gives a look and he's like, you haven't taken a guess by now?
I mean, I know we're approaching the Bliss and Tours, but I don't know exactly where. I'm not great with wilderness directions, unfortunately. I tend to stick to roads.
We're a few days travel worth of Darrencourt, but we're taking a wide area around them.
Oh, I thought we were going back to my grandmother.
We're heading to Lucerne first.
Oh, well, I wasn't aware we were doing so. My apologies. Do you mind if I asked why?
Well, given our recent acquisition,
Yes.
precautions need to be made. Precautions that can be found in Lucerne. That's all I'm willing to say.
Oh, I assure you I can bring you access to the greatest precautions in Darrencourt, and if you want to get information from the Zodiac, I mean, I think my grandmother's quite the person to do it, at least without significant harm.
About that, I'm going to ask you to say at least relatively quiet to your grandmother about the goings-on of today.
Oh? I'm not good at that, but I will try. You know she can read minds, like not like a grandmother way, like a wizard way, right?
Well, you're coming along with us at least for the time that's gonna matter. But I'm saying in the situation where something happens, do your best. I already don't like having you come along right now.
Yes, I got that impression. I can't promise she won't spy on me, but I will do my best.
And he just like pauses for a sec. Fuck.
I mean, frankly, she has the ability to do it to any of us. Unless you have some...
Yeah, but you're the obvious one.
True.
Look, just... Hopefully the non-detection goes through for her looking in on you as well. On you-know-who.
Yes.
Which, by the way, we're now not going to mention that at all.
Alright, again, I don't know quite what she's capable of. Frankly, she's terrifying. If I send her something in the mail, hopefully it'll ease her worries, lessen the chance she'll check on us, maybe?
We'll discuss with the group in the morning.
Alright, do you mind if you still show me where we are on the map so I can direct us to a town where we can get more supplies, like you said?
I was just gonna insight check this guy.
Sure.
He seems rather adamant about that.
You know that he hasn't done much. He might just be, like, looking for a way to be helpful. We're not quite sure.
He might just pull out the map and he won't say where they are, but he'll basically ask, like, where are some stops along the way from between Darrencourt and Lucerne.
Yeah, he actually, stops his good to pull out your map and he pulls out his own and basically shows you 3 towns that are very small text, but that he circles basically with his finger. Says, if you want diamonds, you definitely want to go to this one to the northwest. For more general supplies, hunting, that kind of thing, there's one almost directly to the east of here. Not very far, that's probably the closest one. For just a bit of a larger town, it's a bit of a trade post, northeast, but it's relatively far, maybe a day's and a half travel, if I'm vaguely correct on where we are.
Is he?
He kind of like points, and he's in about 20 miles of where you are.
Okay.
A bit to the south, but he's got the right idea.
Yep, okay. Yeah. So basically, the places he gave would be still like.
Yeah, still within at least 3 days travel at most.
Okay. Well, good to know, but like I said, we can discuss in the morning.
Alright, just let me know. And RO might be easier to switch to
Yeah, non-locked. No snapping.
That's...
Yeah. I didn't realize it had switched to the regular. So basically east, little one, like a day.
Yeah.
Ish.
He does think you're a bit further south than you are, so it's a bit southeast.
Okay. It's kind of more that way.
Yeah.
Ish.
The one that you called northwest is almost directly west, and the one to the northeast is east and north.
Directly west and then east and north that way.
Closer to that one, not further. So
Okay.
maybe like 8 miles away.
Hmm.
And just to double check, Darrencourt is where the castle is, not the name, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so basically diamonds, hunting supplies, general?
Yep.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, the one to the northeast is basically a stop between Darrencourt and the Citadel.
Yeah. So, yeah, he'll just say again, like, yes, we'll reconvene with everyone else in the morning.
Alright, please just let me know if I can be of help, and I can stay watch for most of the night. I've noticed you folk tend to sleep pretty late.
He kind of like clicks his tongue, just if I prefer maybe a few people keep watch at once.
Oh, no, of course, but just so you all get your rest, we don't have to stay here for 12 hours so everyone get 3 minutes sleep.
He just kind of like looks him up and down, just yeah, sure, fine.
Right. I'll wake you if she wakes up, don't worry.
Do better.
And he kind of pulls out a little, similar to the pocket tent that Zodiac had. He kind of throws it on the ground, and a much larger tent than hers appears. It's got this like ostentatious symbol on the side of it. He kind of crawls inside, and you do know that the Hearth of Shadow does basically block your ability to be seen for the next 8 hours, but
Well, traditionally seen.
well, yeah.
I was just thinking outside of traditional, given the situation.
Yep, that's fair.
Yep. So on that note, how are we going to do watch?
Essentially, he'll take 2 watches, whereas everyone else can take 1 and a 10-hour sleep like usual.
Okay. He might still kind of ask that some people, like, maybe just there's a kind of an hour overlap.
Yeah, there's generally about half an hour overlap with the 5 of you. So with 6 of you, essentially, yeah, it'll be about 45 minutes, an hour overlap.
Okay.
I sleep 4 hours less than the
And
rest of the party.
Zinnia sleeps significantly less.
Yeah. So after my honestly just like go over to Zinnia, it's like, okay, he's gonna take watch, but keep an eye on stuff too.
I will. Don't worry.
It's not that I don't trust him, but I don't trust his ability to be as good at what we do as us.
That's all right. You get.
And Ash will go to rest for the night.
Alright. So if you would all like to roll for your sleep training, please do.
I will then.
Wow.
Nope.
I roll wisdom.
Yeah, give me a
Conrad, the charisma check is just to contact the patron, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I can still do my sorcerer instead of warlock?
Esther, yours is intelligence check, not a wisdom save.
mine be a wisdom save.
Wisdom check.
Wisdom check, okay.
I might be right back real quick.
Yeah, about here we can take a quick break while you guys mark off your training.
Yeah.
I'm back in
So-
about 5 minutes.
10 hours, right?
Yeah.
10 hours. Yeah.
I'm basically assuming that you continue the training when you take your watch.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to think. I want to talk with the Fain.
If you got any questions, go ahead. I'm still here for the break, just basically we're not going to do much for the next 5 minutes.
Alright. Yeah.
Okay, we'll divide. We'll do 5 and.
Alright, what would you like to ask the Fain?
Give me a minute. I'm just gonna go up and mark off the points. It's how many again? For one to go to do it while you're sleeping?
For you, you'd have to have 70 hours. Sorry, 60 hours. For
No,
Rosalind, it's a
no,
little
no.
bit less because she's better at it.
What, to talk to the Fain?
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant for you can train certain things when you sleep. And yes, Ty does.
Okay.
To talk to the Fain, you can just do it unless you're having to recall memories or do some other thing, but you can do that once per sleep because they would recover the points basically on their own.
Okay, that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
Needed points or
Yeah, so
Um,
12.
Yeah, so John, it was 12 or 14? I think it was 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 12. So you're,
Okay, cool. I get 10 hours.
and
so
Esther, what would you like to ask?
there's still something I don't understand. Why has this war even started? What is the point of it?
Of that, we are not certain. It's... Again, we work with memories, and certain histories. More modern events we're typically at a loss for. We can make an educated guess.
That would be appreciated.
If the past is anything to potentially
Go on.
Did we lose him?
I think so. Every time I try to be serious, I look at Devin's profile picture of I cast Fist, and I can't.
Good.
I'll change it. I don't have the icons up. I just
No, you don't have to change it. I'm just saying. It's funny. And then I look and I see John with. I still don't know what all that green
It's Mad
is.
Hole. It's Mad Hole. You get all
But what
the
is-
goo. It's food goo.
Lovely.
test.
Hello.
Hey,
There we go. Sorry, where did I cut off?
make an educated.
It.
Right.
Yeah, if the past is anything to, and then you left.
Sorry. So
Yeah.
if the past is anything to judge by, the only significant discussion the Archdruid ever had with the elemental planes, well, it ended with a pretty heated argument, no pun intended. Something to do with how much magic there is in the world, and what establishing a country of druids could do. But he seemed to have taken some sort of offense, or there was some. It's not clear. Either someone attempted to harm him, or he interpreted it as someone attempting to harm him. And in his later years, he was not certain which one was true. But there was a perceived threat, and he left the negotiation table.
Is there something with druidic magic that would be a cause for concern?
Of the nature of magic, we're not particularly certain. There are some things that we know that are technically only known to the likes of the Archdruids and the Glimmers. Certain secrets that are kept culturally. But there's a number of them, especially with magics. Certain ones do conflict with one another. The one that the Archdruids seem to believe is that druidic magic is drawn from the elemental planes, as well as Ranger's magic, and that arcane magic comes from the prime material. Therefore, in an abundance of those, the effects are unclear as it's never been tested, but overuse could be an issue potentially. Or maybe there's also theories that there's a limited amount of magic in the world, and that you might be borrowing too much from the elemental planes, leaving them magicless eventually. Some say that magic just persists throughout, and or that it comes from within. Magic is very non-standard in general. But the Archdruid would definitely believe the first of those theories.
Yet he continued.
Yes. Though, he always was careful about his magic, as he did call spirits to do his work, Fey ones, and he was very practiced in not overworking them. He did have a very long life, so I assume he was in no rush to complete many things.
I suppose. If that first plane's upset. What about the other continents? Are you only...
Sorry, ask again?
The other continents, are they experiencing turmoil like this?
Again, present, we're not certain.
What are the...
What are the what?
The other continents.
I think we might have lost Conrad.
Test.
There he is.
There we are.
Sorry, where did I cut out there?
No
You
answer.
didn't say anything.
Okay, so then basically the answer was, the other continents seem to have issues of, more standard reasons. Subterfuge, wars, natural disaster, famine, pestilence, you know. The benefit of the druids being in charge and why they stayed in power so long is that they can mitigate a lot of things like that. A couple powerful druids could essentially fix a tear in the surface of the earth. They could stop the flow of lava. That's why they are relied on so deeply. Many people here, they had to go through the kinds of thing the other countries do. They just simply aren't experienced.
Interesting.
And I can promise you, not many people here have ever gone hungry.
No, I doubt that.
As for the other continents in general, none of them are quite as large as Panacea. There is the giant lands to the east, mostly giants there, of course. Some small civilizations, but they rarely last long. Mostly underground. If you look in the ocean, there's a few underneath the wave cities, some monarchies. To the southwest, there's the Dead Continent, where those who are undead advisors or in charge of the government, they always have their political issues compared to other continents, as undead advisors are traditional, to say the least. As for the rest, it's mostly small islands of little consequence. Panacea is nearly self-sufficient. We rarely have contact, unless you're on the borders.
Isn't there something giants?
Yes, to the east, on the other side of the mountains.
On the other side of the mountains of this continent?
Yes, it's essentially where giants rule, and they do attempt to come through the glass bogs and through the desert, sometimes in the mud flats, but they rarely make their way, as we have at least historically powerful forces over there to prevent such a thing.
Oh, I was only told legends. I had no idea that they were actually so close, in a sense.
Oh, they're close. Citadel is essentially the standard rallying point to keep them back. That's why it's built on the mountaintop, so that if giants are coming up, they're easily seen due to their size. You can drop massive rocks on them or cause landslides. And if they choose to float on their castles, they can be spotted easily from above.
What?
Assuming that the citadel is high enough.
Float on their castles?
Yes, the cloud giants and storm giants.
They have flying castles?
Some do. There's not very many of them. The storm giants especially, you can find them anywhere, underwater, deep underground. But the cloud giants tend to stick to above the clouds.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yes. Thousands of years ago, before the dragons and giants were made their peace treaties, there were many more. But thankfully that war left them weakened and never really recovered. Both of the species.
It's good for us, I suppose.
It definitely makes living a lot easier, though I have heard, or at least the Archdruid had heard a great number of rumors of dragons in this country.
Well,
Well, he's not wrong.
Yes, I suppose you would know for a second.
Thank you very much for all this information. Appreciate it.
Of course.
And that was over like
Yeah, they were showing you examples the whole way, more imagery than just speaking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in general, outside of kind of how Europe and Asia are different continents, but Eurasia is kind of the same thing.
Ah, I see.
The continent that Panacea is on is connected to two other continents. The giant lands to the east, which is about half the size of Panacea,
Mm-hmm.
and to the southwest there's the Dead Lands, which is probably the size of just the Genasi Desert.
Ah, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because I thought it was like a different continent.
It is technically, but not separated by an ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise it's mostly smaller continents, and the fact that there are underwater societies. In this setting, a continent is a lot less relevant.
Of course. I just didn't realize how close that they were.
Yeah. Well, I mean, close to relative, they're still a couple hundred miles away. Yeah. But Panacea does essentially pride itself on being an exporter and almost never needing to import things from other continents. They might import some magical stuff, but otherwise it's pretty much all self-sufficient.
Well, that might change.
Yeah, especially with the wars in the northwest and the north. Yeah, it's been an issue for certain people.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, yeah. Well, we got our information. And that's
Yeah,
it for me.
you personally would be more familiar with the idea that magic comes from within,
Mm-hmm.
kind of in the Genasi culture. But that comes a lot from the psionics perspective.
Yeah, and also,
And also,
you said that there was a religion that called that it was Om or Am.
yeah, there's a whole thing about that, yeah.
Yes,
But,
side note. Please send me what you that.
yeah, I'll have to find it. Alright. If you all wake up in the morning, Ashta, you are woken up essentially 2 hours earlier than everyone else, as that is when Aquarius wakes up. And by then you probably would have been awake to cast a spell again anyways, so... If you choose to go back to sleep to get your full 10 hours, you do, but that's up to you.
Yeah, he will.
Okay. Yeah, you wake up, kind of cast the spell, and finish your sleep so you can recover for the Fain. But as you all get up and awake, it's just after sunset, thankfully, because of the winter. What direction are you guys heading?
Yeah, good question. Which way are we going, guys? What's more important? The diamonds,
Ashes,
the
right?
hunting materials, or general goods? And
I
hope
think
for the
general
best.
good.
Crystal goods. We have enough to kind of keep us going, at least for the amount that Ashta can cast a spell in a day.
Okay.
He has 2 spell slots for it. So,
Essentially, to keep her non-detected for the entirety of a day would require 4 castings per day. No, sorry, 3. I can't do math.
yeah, no, yeah. It's 8 hours, not 6.
So,
Okay. So are we going kind of to the northeast?
I think so. Like to the general, kind of
The trading post.
skirting far if we can.
alright, so, within, actually, a third of the time you guys normally travel in a day, you guys can get there. It's 8 miles away. Who's going into the town? It's a pretty small town. It's got, short walls, mostly made of timber, but it seems like the timber is fortified with, iron bands and kept kind of together. There's a pretty solid garrison of mostly dwarves, it seems, walking the walls. But it's not a big town at all.
Who should stay with Aquarius and how? And
Hal'qarim does offer to go basically with you, because he knows the town pretty well, and if you guys basically go shopping at his family's store, he can get a much better price than you guys would anywhere else.
Yes, but then it's also known we were here.
Not necessarily. Well, I suppose Hal'qarim would have to be known. But the rest of us needn't be ourselves, so to speak. I haven't had a chance to use it, but I seem to have learned a new spell recently.
And that would be?
I can change our appearances.
Oh, please do.
So shall I change the appearance of the entire group?
Yeah, should just kind of set his job and disguise as someone.
It's an illusion, Ashta. It's not actually shifting your shape.
Sure. I mean, I stick out like a sore thumb, so I get some. Yeah, no, I'm fine with being disguised.
Alright, keep in mind that if anybody touches you and anything seems off, they'll notice.
Just keep it to a similar form then, no?
Yes. As similar as possible. So if anybody has any requests, speak them now. Otherwise, gather around.
I might kind of look over to Rosalind, almost in this like half of his face is straight, but half of it is kind of pleading look. I'll leave it to you. And then there's just a quick Fain message. Maybe this can be used as bargaining.
Maybe this can be used to what?
As bargaining. Or silence.
Fain back. No, I don't think so.
Alright, do me a favor and click the spell.
Yep.
Oh, Esther's gonna ask. Never mind.
Yep, everyone is willing. Yeah, you can change height up to a foot.
Oh my god, Ashta.
You can be tall.
Rosalind gives Ashta's new form 2 inches.
And how much taller was Rosalind?
2 inches.
Alright,
The scales are in balance.
Yep.
Yep.
I do not have anything specific in mind for appearances, just...
My main question is, do you change anyone's race?
Esther's might be a good idea.
Yeah, Esther's might be a good idea. Probably just go for, in general, we look either human, or maybe there's a little bit of half-elf in someone, or something like that. The really mainstream, if you want to call it that, races in this area. Nobody's going dwarf. I do not want to mess with heights that much. I can't.
In this area, you won't find many even humans.
Okay.
You're more likely to find, honestly, hobgoblins, but they're not particularly well liked.
Yeah, no.
Genasi. And, yeah, a lot of the short races, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Maybe some Goliaths.
The really short and tall races are out the window.
You might be able to
just
half
change
orcs
everyone
going
into
to.
Genasi.
I was gonna say you could probably get Caius away with Goliath or half orc.
Same with Xenia,
Fair
honestly.
Mm.
Yeah, because Xenia, you can already look pretty different than your face usually does anyways.
Mhm.
Yeah. Are you putting Hal'qarim or Aquarius under the effects?
I am not putting Hal'qarim, but I am putting Aquarius. For the sake
Oh, we're
of, in
bringing
case your
Aquarius
face is new. No. Some people are staying out, as you said, but they can
Okay,
stay
so-
disguised. They don't have to be within 30 feet of me after casting it.
Okay.
It just lasts.
Alright. And that case, Hal'qarim kind of fixes up his armor, kind of puts over more of like a cloak to cover all the fanciness that he has. But he keeps the shield on his arm the whole time.
Yeah. So again, if anybody has specific requests, Rosalind would have taken them into account. Like if anybody had said specifically, "Oh, go ahead and make me look human. Go ahead and make me look like some other genasi," or she could have just kept the races and tweaked the features enough that we do not look like ourselves.
I've started to hide her shoulder and
Yeah,
to
just
turn her hair off.
John, hold on. Sorry, Sky, go ahead.
To basically turn her hair off, kind of idea, and to hide the markings all over her skin.
Yeah. You might also get like a very slightly different set of facial features. Like, I don't know, maybe for this you've got something that'll draw attention but to the wrong place, so to speak. You know, everybody's gonna remember the human with the not on fire hair, with, I don't know, maybe she's got big ears that stick out or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
Probably like relaxed hair with like really wide eyebrows kind of thing.
Yeah, that sort of thing. If anybody's going to describe the face, if anybody's even going to pay attention to in order to describe the face, they'll describe the wrong things.
Alright.
And
John,
her
sorry,
hair
we were
is
going to request.
just not purple.
Yeah, no, not purple. In
That's
fact,
not
John, Caius is going to look pretty nondescript.
Good. It's good.
Alright, so you guys are disguised. Who is staying out? Who is going in?
Oh, I'd recommend making her hair short, too.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's fucking a nightmare.
I kind of want to keep Caius's hair.
Yeah, all the requests can go in. So who's going
Pretty
to
nondescript,
who's
aside
going
from the
to
hair.
the city, and who's going to be staying out?
Rosalind is going in.
Hal'qarim is going in.
Esyther will go in.
Ashta will go.
I'll
Okay,
stay out.
that's everybody except for... Is Caius going to stay out with Zinnia?
Caius will stay out.
Alright, so you guys head into the city. Hal'qarim kind of waves at the guards in the top. He goes, "Morning. Just going in for trading. Alright?" And I kind of grunt and go, yeah, whatever.
Real quick, maybe leave Thorn with Zinnia and Caius.
Yeah, sure. Thorn can stay out there.
Alright, and yeah, you guys enter the city. It's quiet, but you can see that almost everyone here is decently well off. Nothing huge, maybe a mile wide, the city on its own. You can see the center of town from where you are, probably through some houses. Yeah, there's signs for general stores, for various specialty shops, gems are all over the place, ores, blacksmiths, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Ashta might just...
Yeah, Hal'qarim does recommend basically, like, he points to the one store that you guys would recognize having, like, his family logo on. It is pretty close to the edge of town, so you can get in and get out pretty quickly.
Would be a good idea.
Is there anything else that we are absolutely going to need?
Maybe a cloak for Aquarius. Seeming can't be up forever.
Oof.
Something with the hood.
Alright.
I have extra cloaks that have hoods, though.
Oh. Well, in that case, we could have that dealt with.
I have... Well, there's the cloak that I currently
In your inventory?
find to her. And, I believe there was another set that I have.
Yeah, Zinnia, you had, sorry, not Zinnia, Esther, you had 3 cloaks total. You bought one in before you went to the hinterlands, and the one when you were in Lucerne. I'm assuming it's somewhere in the bag of holding, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
She'll just restock on bolts.
Yep, yeah, Ashta Markov, but like 2 gold, basically.
Alright.
Just to have like as much as you'll need for a significant amount of time. For general like food supplies, if you guys want to buy that for about a week for everyone involved, Hal'qarim like puts down this little token, and they just hand him a backpack full, and he kind of slings it over his shoulders. And it kind of sits pretty broadly on the backpack he already has, and then he kind of like requests basically some paper, some kind of more slightly more luxurious items like papers, a quill ink, like that kind of thing. Stores in the bag as well. Essentially, stuff you find in two or three.
What is he going to write? Is the concern.
Yeah. His paper was used for the contract.
He's just restocking, but yeah, I see why you're worried.
I mean, it is more than he used, probably. That's for sure. But yeah. Is there anything else anyone else needs to get?
That diamond dust.
Yes. So you would have to go into a different store for that.
Oh, okay.
But there's a number of them pretty close by. You do eventually find one after about a minute or so, just walking through the streets, as this kind of stores everywhere in this country, in this part of the country. You go in, you see like a relatively bored-looking dwarf, kind of just sitting there, and go like, "Morning. What is their desire?"
We need spellcasting quality diamond dust.
About how much? I've only got about 600 worth in stock.
And she'll look
I've
over
got
to...
some lower quality stuff if you know how to improve it.
She'll look over to the person who is Ashta, and just gestures to him because it's his spell. How much do you need?
It takes 25 gold worth of casting.
You see Hal'qarim kind of step
what's
forward.
The general guess? What's the general guess for travel time from here to Lucerne?
Let's measure it out. About 4 days.
Okay, so that'd be
12 castings.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be 12 castings. But he can still only cast it twice a day.
Ah.
That's why he's kind of iffy. Well, how much worth did we get from the diamond that Rosalind crushed?
They've only gotten 100 so far, but there's still like 400's worth in the diamond.
Okay. In that case,
You could just pick up a little bit to restock what Zinnia gave.
That's what I'm...
Yeah. You do see Hal'qarim kind of step forward and say, just while they kind of discuss, he puts down like a small bag and says, give me 300 gold piece diamonds for spellcasting, not crushed. And she kind of like looks slightly taken aback and takes them and puts them on the table. And she opens up the bag, counts it up, and says, "Oh, big spender." And he takes his 3 diamonds, puts it in his pocket, and says, "Just for my own personal stock."
I should kind of guess what spell it'd be used for, yeah.
There's a number.
But like paladin-y spells, yeah.
There's still a number.
Can you make an Arcana check then?
This would be a religion check, because it is not arcane magic.
Okay.
I mean, you know of Revivify, of course. You're not certain if he can cast that spell, but you know he has spells of that nature.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, like basically like healing and revival spells. You know,
yeah, again, you know he can cast spells like that at some point. You don't know if he can right now.
Yeah, just Ash is aware of the spells that exist.
Oh yeah, of course. You know a lot of healing magic requires diamonds, of course. Like, again, Zinnia's Greater Restoration.
And Ash might ask the person if there's a magic shop that they'd recommend in town.
Define magic. I mean, we've got someone who imports some stuff from the glass bogs up north. got a couple folks that do
What's
similar
enchanting
kind of
and
trading.
spellcasting?
Spellcasting, well, we've got the kind of city wizard who um, does his own enchanting and could probably help you out there. A little bit touchy when it comes to selling his wares. He's pretty attached to them, but you know, pretty nice. Should be alright. Other than that, I mean, magical supplies, things like scrolls, might be better off at the library. They sell scrolls there.
In which case, put it back later. Someone else need anything?
Don't think so.
Alright.
Oh,
Did you guys
great.
buy the duster?
Asha was going to basically buy the dust. I think it was 3 castings from just to kind of return to Zinnia.
Okay. In that case, mark off the 75 gold pieces.
He'll do it in platinum, but yeah.
And yeah, alright, so you leave the shop. You guys going further into the town, or?
Asha will recommend to the group they go to the library such that they can find a non-detection scroll and have.
Alright.
You do know that she would need some high-quality ink and paper as well, and that she doesn't generally keep a pretty good supply of that.
I'll go and look for the ink and paper. You find the scroll, I'll meet you by the library.
And Hal'qarim kind of goes off to go with Rosalind. I assume, Esther, you go with Ashta?
Mm-hmm.
Asha might kind of.
Wait,
take
no,
a
no, no.
stop and see if she
As
can
there's,
go with Rosalind. I can get it myself.
I was about to say, go, and I'm like, Ashton's a big boy. He can take care of himself. How Kareem on the other hand.
No, not a big boy.
Yeah, actually, in the
Ashta's a
If
big boy,
it might
but
be-
just not a
if
tall
it's
boy.
brought up quickly enough, there might be the thought, oh wait, perhaps Esther should go with Hal'qarim to get the supplies since it's technically for her spellbook.
You know, that would actually be a fantastic idea.
Alright,
Before
then
he can argue,
slight change
she
of plans, I'll go with Ashton and find the scroll.
before she can argue,
Besides-
he
besides
can
you
argue.
might- Asha just kind of going with it. Besides, you might find some spellcasting stuff you want, Rosalind.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea if you two went off instead. Come on, Hal'Qarim. I'm just gonna grab him by the arm and just drag him off.
He's heavy. He goes willingly. He kind of starts talking, says, would you find better luck finding magical components with the wizard, or just at the general store?
It really does not matter.
Start with the general store so we don't have a wizard.
The general store might be a good idea.
Alright, then yeah, you start heading that direction. He kind of leads you. He starts to lead you towards his own family thing again. Where he goes, oh no, we don't carry that, and kind of goes off in another direction. You guys, Ashton and Rosalind, see him go off in the distance.
Just as they're walking, it's like, well, that was close.
I doubt anything would have happened. He's not said anything since the letter incident, but well,
Maybe I'm taking too much wisdom from other professions, but the fact that nothing's happened yet almost makes me more worried. It's more opportunity for him to do something stupid and for us to be more seen than we need to be.
well, let's go find that scroll.
Let's.
Go off to the library.
Okay. So you guys go there. It takes a little bit of going, but you ask directions. It's not hard. Once you go in, you can see that inside it's not as open as most libraries. There's kind of like a front desk, and you can go behind it to look for books and scrolls that kind of hold hexagonal cubby holes. And you see the kind of it's a high elf sitting at the front desk. They see you walk in, kind of sit up straight and go, "Oh, good morning. Are you
Good
here
morning.
to borrow, buy, or donate?"
Probably buy.
All right.
Good question. Does copying of the scroll into a spell book consume the scroll?
Yes.
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 Then definitely
Just that.
buy.
So yeah, and they go, "All right. Scrolls.
A scroll. A very specific one.
Ledgers. Ah, yes. I can do my best. If you need, I can. Some of the more basic spells, I can make one for you in a day or two.
Do you have one on non-detection?
On detection.
Yes, we
Interesting.
have a friend who's studying and would like to give that one a try.
All right. I do have to ask for a scroll like that. Do you have some sort of credentials? Unfortunately, anti-divination scrolls are typically slightly not restricted, but I'm required to ask at least.
What form of credential?
Military or informational purpose. If you're a courier of some kind or a soldier.
Asheville, I mean, he'd likely have a show of like a guard from his old guard post. Yeah.
Yep. And he'll look at it. He doesn't look at it too long. He goes, "Oh,
Yeah,
all right."
he does like the cop flash it, put it back down.
You know, the elf would request that you let him look at it, but he kind of just looks for like 2 seconds and goes, "Ah, guard. All right." And hands it back to you.
Yes.
Yeah, my apologies. It's a requirement this close to, well, in the eastern part of the country. Certain restrictions. I'm not sure why. And he kind
We
of
just
goes
have
back in.
some sensitive people.
Yes, I don't ask questions. I just have to ask for that. And he kind of goes through and he starts counting. He goes, "I have one half completed. Can you wait till the evening?"
Can we wait until the evening? Conrad's gone.
Conrad died.
Hear us?
He
Ash, I'll
Fell
look
out of
over to
the
Rob.
chat. Basically, I was gonna ask how much the scroll would be, but Conrad's not in the chat. Oh wait, there he is. Conrad, can you hear us? We can't hear you. I want to know how much the scroll would be if you can hear us. Probably not.
Hey,
Okay, 450. Yeah, technically I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. I've got the Electrum.
Ash might also ask if there's any sort of expedition fee, and if so, how much. Because if we can get it before the evening for like 20 more gold, it might be worth it.
Sorry. Am I good now?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so he can't get it to you before the evening. He basically has to finish enchanting it.
He will ask if there's any sort of expedition fee that could go.
If you can bring me a healthy supply of the slurry from the glass bogs, maybe, but it would only expedite it a couple hours.
How healthy a supply?
I'm not sure. I don't use it quite often. Enough that I could.
That he could,
Enough that he could something.
enough that he could drop out of the conversation.
Again. Because we've got 50 liters of the basic quality slurry.
Mm-hmm.
We can always get more, but we can never get. We can.
Yeah,
Time is
precious. I get it.
because I like there's times where I'm like, man, it'd be so cool if people knew enchanting stuff.
We're working on it. I'm working on it slowly. He's typing.
And no, he's not.
Does anybody remember if the slurry is in the bags of holding? Because both of them, one's on Rosalind and one is on Ashta. If it's in the bag of holding, we've got it.
It is in party loot, so probably.
That's what I would assume.
I assume so. Alright, 10 liters. Rosalind dips into her bag of holding and calls up about 10 liters of the stuff in whatever containers it's in.
Yeah, it's essentially like a large cauldron.
Yep. And puts it down, and would this be sufficient?
He kind of like looks over the top. Yes, I suppose so. I'm not super experienced with this stuff, but I will do my best. Still would take me about 4 to 6 hours. I apologize.
Well,
That's better than what it was before.
we will take it.
Yes, if in the meantime, if you'd like to do some studying here, I'm more than happy to oblige.
I think we might take a look around.
Please do. I'll begin my enchanting right away. They've got little labels, if you can see across the desk. And here you see him pull out this kit that he has from beneath and begin tracing and very carefully plotting things out on the scroll that he removed from the honeycomb pattern earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And you see pretty much every wizard spell from 1st, 2nd, and 3rd level marked somewhere. Not all of them are full, especially the 3rd level. But almost anything from 1st and 2nd level you can probably get, although you're not sure if they're fully enchanted or not.
Have Esther come back here.
Yeah, Esther, it wouldn't take you very long to find basically a stationery shop.
Mm-hmm.
You would know that you need a pretty significant amount of gold's worth to copy spells. Somewhere in the realm of, I think, 25 to 50 gold pieces per level of the spell. So at least 100 gold worth.
Okay.
You do see how Kareem basically hands you a small bag of platinum pieces. It covers about 60 gold pieces worth.
Oh, you don't have to do this.
I'm aware, but if I'm going to be helping out, I figure I might as well contribute, no?
It's very kind of you, thank you.
Yes, and I heard of your previous plight with money. I figured potentially this could help.
Thank you.
He kind of nods, and then Esther, you are clicking your gold pieces.
I do realize that no, because it's gone invisible.
If you basically use the side to make it smaller and bigger, the screen, essentially.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it'll make it come. Yeah, so you do see he kind of, as soon as he walks in, he says, good sir, and he kind of nods to the guy at the front desk. It's a relatively short gnome, even for gnomes. And he goes, what do you need now, Kareem? Long time no see. And they kind of shake hands. His hand is huge in comparison. Yes, and he kind of says, like, more of that, the fancy paper I bought earlier, as well as some for my more spell-inclined friends over here. And he kind of gestures towards you. Gnome kind of like fixes his spectacles and says, "Hey there, lassie, how much do you need?"
About 100 gold's worth.
Oh, is that all? I assume of spell quality, correct?
Yes, please.
Alright, and he kind of like drudges it up. Would that be ink as well?
Yes.
Alright, he kind of comes back up and he basically hands you what looks like an industrial flask of ink.
Mm-hmm.
On it is like stamped a certain number on it that you would recognize as basically the carat of ink. It's essentially the quality. It is good ink. Like, to write a letter would like cost like 3 gold pieces of this ink, basically. Like a letter, like a full-size piece of paper, not like one letter of an alphabet. And he hands you like some pretty good paper that you could definitely use. It can basically withstand most of the elements without much issue. And he says, just 100 gold pieces. I know you casterly folk tend to buy much more than that. I've got quite the supply in the back if you need.
Yeah, at least like another 100.
That's what I'm thinking. Perhaps another 100.
Ah, for sure. I think you're good with that amount of ink, and he kind of gets more paper, as well as some kind of sealant to make the ink basically stay better and be waterproof. Basically puts it on the table, wraps it up in a small box for you, and says, I hope this will be sufficient. That'll be a total of 200 gold pieces, and Mr. Hal'qarim for the usual supply for you, just 10 gold pieces. And you see Hal'qarim put a platinum piece on the table. Assuming you pay, it'd be 140 from you, 60 from Hal'qarim that he gave earlier. Yeah, you can bundle up the paper and put it in your backpack.
Okie dokie.
And yeah, so with this, I believe you could basically copy down about 4 levels worth of spells.
Awesome.
So like 2 second levels, 3rd and the 1st, 4 first levels, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Hal'qarim kind of steps out and he says, the library, they said, right?
Yes.
Let's make our way. And he kind of begins walking and directing you. You see him take like 3 wrong turns, and eventually he gets there. It's been about maybe 15-20 minutes since you guys separated, so Ashta and Roslyn, you would have a chance to look at most of the scroll.
Could we basically have like gone through them and such that if Sky/Esyther asks about, oh, do they have this one, maybe we could just help. Hello?
Conrad? I think he's gone.
I think we lost him.
Yep, we lost him. Well.
I haven't been cutting out too bad this session, have I?
No.
Not really.
Yeah, no.
No, I think you've been
Okay,
fine.
because there's just been the few times where I've like talked and I'm pretty sure no one heard me.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We didn't know.
Yeah, but yeah, this would be hard for you guys to tell. Hopefully it doesn't make Tuesday an issue though, is all.
Second, I have to. Mom's calling me now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mute it,
Yeah, boy, yeah.
son.
Thank you, Conrad. Did you know you can put mute to hotkeys?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually quite easy. But yeah, as long as we know if Esther has any questions, we could just tell Esther without having to go through it again and waste time with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and also, the Fain, she would have relayed to the group through Fain telepathy that day.
Hey.
Fain telepathy is pretty short range.
No, like early,
instant.
like way early, when everybody kind of woke up, sort of thing.
Okay. Then yeah. Yeah, so basically, Sky, any low-level spell that you kind of wish you knew, you can probably find a scroll for it here.
Okay,
Would you like me to link you to the wizard spell list?
Yes, please.
And the orange one, it's got the ones from the other books. Alright, so...
What low-level spells, though? Like, what is the limit?
First
Like,
and
level
second.
1?
First and second,
whatever you can
maybe
afford.
3rd.
First to second, awesome. Yeah, Conrad, you don't need to link, I got it.
Alright.
Which site are you on? Because there's a site that has more from the other books.
I'm on the wiki, don't worry.
Okay.
Oh, I just went to the 5th edition. One second.
Wikia has from all the books, whereas 5th edition SRD has just from the Player's Handbook.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
I meant that more for Sky. But yeah.
I'll go to the wiki then.
Wikia. I don't know how that's pronounced.
Wiki.
I think it is Wikia.
The Wikia.
Actually, no, they moved it to fandom.com.
Fandom.com.
Okay, well, it still says Wiki up top.
I'm saying wiki.
Waikia.
Yes, Wikia. It's the magical Swedish shop of information.
Yes.
Magical Swedish.
The magical sweets.
Well, maybe during this,
Swedish shop of information is what I said.
maybe during this, guys, Zinnia get up to something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Zinnia,
Mm-hmm.
you are with Aquarius and Caius.
Oh, fuck.
Of any
Stall for time
particular-
while Sky reads spells.
Yeah.
Please.
Essentially, yeah. Is there anything particular you'd like to discuss with either of them, or Caius?
Not really. Wait, who am I in the shop with?
You're
Not
not
in the
in
shop.
the
You're,
shop.
you're
You're not in the
outside the
shop.
city
I'm
with
outside.
yeah, Zinnia and Aquarius.
Okay. Not really.
Just awkward silence and crickets chirping.
Yes. I'm sorry, but there is nothing is coming.
I could improv some shit, man.
Do you
Yeah,
like
please.
chat?
Please
Drink shampoo.
throw me the ball.
Be this time to drink shampoo.
I think
Some
Connor
pens-
tried to say something and I didn't.
Take a bite of soap.
Head on Aquarius.
Do you like jazz?
You're like,
My God.
Chad? Like, Chad?
He's gonna,
Oh.
like, are we like close to the walls of the place?
Oh, that's you.
I don't know. Just probably like.
Probably wish stopped at least
Oh.
a bit out, so you know the guards on the walls aren't looking at you weird.
Yeah, a bit out, and Xena's just gonna go. So you like your wand? It's naturey, right? It's your the controlling
Oh
wind.
man.
Yeah, most of it was pretty.
You're cutting out, Conrad.
Yeah, you're lagging. Also, John, don't go oh man when you have literally nothing.
I have nothing. Yeah, no, I have literally
No,
nothing.
you're in no position.
I have
Yeah.
But Conrad's lagging out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
God, love that apartment internet.
Yeah, man. I had it for 8 months and I hated every minute of it.
Yeah, but you didn't exist during those 8 months.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I didn't exist for those 8 months.
Doesn't mean it's okay, but you know you didn't.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I'm trying to make
Message,
money.
message in the
Oh,
chat.
man. Shit.
Okay, I read that.
I'm a druid. Most of what I do is pretty naturey, though I do hate the connotations that has here.
Xena's gonna give a little bit of a nod and sort of look at her in Undercommon and just go, "You speak this, right?"
I do.
No hop
Mm.
on this.
And just continue in Undercommon saying, "They've done stuff, and they're honestly going to fuck up the ecosystems. They've already fucked up the ecosystems. It's bullshit."
I will say they are better than those past arcanists. At least if the history books are anything to tell from.
I don't know much about that history.
Ah, and yet you claim the druids are no good, huh?
I
Careful, those who
have
don't know history are bound to repeat it.
Xena's gonna nod and just go, and sort of gesture to the breastplate. I've dealt with them enough.
Yes, I imagined as much. If it makes you feel any better, it's more politics that become the issue in terms of druids. I don't have particular issue with you. I hope you understand that. But your leaders make selfish choices, let's say, for their own ends and for the country as opposed to the world. No, I suppose they can't be expected to do much else. It's what their job is, after all.
Leaders always end up messing themselves up at one point, but I think I should look more into the history.
Yes. I could recommend a number of books if you speak Primordial.
I'm learning it. I mostly know the Elvish and Fey languages as well as Undercommon.
And she switches to Sylvan, and says, "Well, at least you're educated linguistically as opposed to historically."
I know where I come from in that sense.
Good. Don't forget it. It's a history many would much rather forget and be the worse off for it.
Yes, I've had some run-ins with both sides. It's fine. See,
You know, I do hope these negotiations go well. I really do want peace.
as do I. I want peace for as many as can be.
Well, that's the ideal, but unfortunately, well, who knows? Anger burns hot. Hopefully, the minds of those seeking for peace will be cooler than they are hot.
I just hope those I love stay safe. And those just I very much care about my family in this situation. But time will tell.
That noise.
Remember, most of your names are swapped.
But I know I don't have those.
I know for a fact you have Ice Knife. That's the shard one from the first level.
That's the issue of renaming stuff.
Yeah. Remember, if you open the descriptions, it tells you the names of each of them.
Yeah, but it ain't, no.
Either way. Yeah. See, now she goes pretty quiet after that, and just, I haven't seen my family in a while. When I went to the Plane of Ice, they were left behind further in the Plane of Air.
Well, you built your other family with the troops. I believe there's a lot of trust there. But I would miss my family as well.
Yes, I imagine so. I hope they won't have to see there wasn't a casket someday.
I hope we both live long lives.
No, I think you're better, more likely for that than I am, but that's the nature. Does that grouchy one have a family?
He has an uncle. We've
I
met
think.
him.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure.
I mean, if he doesn't have much family, it might explain why he seems so gung-ho.
I don't like explaining his own past, but he's been through much. He's been through a lot.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. He just wants us to be safe. And he's wary of everything.
But when I say the same thing, he kidnaps me. Oh well.
I think he was a bit on edge in an elemental plane.
I suppose. Then you can understand why I'm so nervous here, though.
Yes, the decision of either being on the plane of ice or here is still, they both have their pros and cons.
That's true. I have to ask, is the purple-haired one just dumb or does not like me or something?
He's dumb.
Again, she's asking this in Sylvan.
Yeah, so Kais can't understand any of this, so it's just...
He's just staring into the distance.
Doing some
Yeah.
push-ups, practicing.
Yeah, just doing some push-ups. Yeah, no, doing rolls and whatnot. Just passing the time.
Sitting there shrugging, just goes, he's formative wrestler. You make the assumptions you'd like.
Professional wrestler, just to say. No, not that I understand anything, but...
She kind of observes you do like a couple.
You
like,
would know that. Professional, or not performative wrestler.
Well, well, then Zinnia would have called you like a monk at that point, but they know about the performance.
Yeah. She essentially kind of like watches Caius do like a couple like roll breaks for like falling down,
Yeah.
and says, "He reminds
Couple
me of a
points.
vaguely." And she actually switches to English, common to this, and she goes, "He reminds me of a vaguely acrobatic armadillo when he rolls like that."
It's effective in battle.
Thanks for that, by the way. Thanks.
It's not a bad thing. Armadillos are fantastic beings. You ever had a conversation with them? They're brilliant.
They're protective.
And frankly, like, they know more than you think they know.
I love her even more.
So do I.
Armadillos are such fascinating creatures.
I can, if you'd like, Mr. I don't know your name, but Mr. Wrestler.
Caius. Caius.
I could show you some tips in armadillo form.
May I join you with that?
Say.
And you watch it kind of like just turns into an armadillo.
You're like Caius raises a finger, like, okay, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And essentially, she does genuinely try to help you with like your acrobatics in terms of like break. Like for the hour that it takes them to do all this stuff before the or however long they take, she can essentially double your like acrobatic and key training.
Nice. Yeah. Noting that. Okay. Pretty good.
Guys, what languages do you speak?
Common, Draconic.
Oh, son of a bitch. He's just gonna in the Fain tell. No, Caius said his last name.
Caius said his last name. He said Caius
Caius
Ambrose.
said Ambrose.
Yes, Ambrose.
As a reminder, you guys do have Fain telepathy.
Just Xenia,
Yeah.
fucking
He's gonna
idiot.
feign
Oh, fuck.
telepathy of just like he's no last name. Dude.
And I say to her in Fain, you know that's not my real name, right?
Oh, it finally gets revealed.
What is your real name?
I won't
He
tell
has a
you.
stage name, guys.
Fuck off.
What is your real name?
And Caius just turns to Zinnia and gives her an eyebrow.
You're an armadillo right now.
Oh,
Yeah. I turn to that.
Zinnia's an armadillo, right?
Am
Wait,
I an
what
armadillo?
turn
Right?
You know, Zinnia's an armadillo. And so
Yeah.
is...
I turn
Oh.
to Zinnia.
I thought
I turn to
Caius
which
was.
one?
Roll me
When
an...
he said
No. Aquarius and Zinnia are armadillos.
Oh.
Yes.
when he said his last name though, Xenia immediately morphed back. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then I just basically looked at her and I raised my eyebrows. Like, gave her a look of, you think I'm really gonna tell you?
You think we're not gonna find out at one point?
Secret I take to the grave.
Oh, you overdramatic.
Well,
He's
you
a
can live with that.
wrestler! Of course he's over dramatic.
Xenia's gonna look at him and just go,
Job.
guys. Xenia's going to say in Fain, do you have a family?
Stays silent.
Xenia's just gonna look at him and just go, okay. When you're on that deathbed, just make sure to tell us if we can find anyone we can tell.
Sure.
By the way, the armadillo is currently jumping jacks.
That's fucking amazing.
It looks ridiculous. Alright, so, are you guys going to spend the rest of the time waiting at the library?
I was gonna ask, is there anything else we want to get done while we're in the town?
I'm assuming that through Thorn, you guys let
Yeah.
them know that you're going to be a while.
I was about to say that that's what happened. Is there anything else in town?
I mean, yeah, it's full town.
I mean, that we would need or want to do or go to. Also,
you could
Esther
shop,
had
like I said,
Esther had a list of spell scrolls looking at, and we need to pick that.
Trying to
Yep, I just want to make sure I have how many hours it's going to take for this first.
Yeah.
Because essentially he's just focusing on the enchantment process to make it as quick as possible.
Okay.
The transaction will be made at the end.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, we'll, I guess, hold that thought. I had a thought. We could find a quiet place to do some of our training stuff, as long as it's, again, quiet, a little secluded, but not private property. Is there anything that would fit that description?
I assume you're asking Hal'qarim there.
Maybe. Might as well, yeah.
Okay. He kind of goes, well, if you're looking for combat practice, I mean, I think we have someone who, yes, we have a trading partner here. We can borrow his house. It's relatively large. It's a pretty sizable basement. As for more magical training, if the basement works. Well, I suppose. It's used mostly for storage, but it's roomy.
Well, that seems like something that would pass the time.
Alright. My only request is if you have anything that produces, a thunderous noise, not use it in there.
That's a reasonable request. I don't believe there is anything, but we'll keep it in mind.
It's appreciated. And he kind of steps out and waves you guys out. I'm assuming each of you come with?
Yeah.
Is this for like weapons training?
Or you could
For
find a
whatever reason.
corner and read. Or practice magic.
Although you could definitely do that in the library too.
Yeah, either way.
How long would it take to copy absorb elements and my like?
You don't technically have those scrolls yet. He's basically got all his focus on making the one for you right now. Absorb elements would take an hour, 2 hours each.
No, just because you said in the library, the scroll.
Yeah, you still have to buy the scrolls. The scrolls still get used up when you copy them.
Okay.
If you interrupt him, like you can buy it from right now, but basically it's basically to make it a lump cost.
Sorry, you cut out. Did you say?
Oh, test.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Essentially, like he's concentrating on making the scroll right now. Like you don't know if he'd have to recapture his focus if you interrupt him to buy the scrolls. But there are other books there. Like there's still books on magic, books on history, books on whatever.
John, can you stop unzipping whatever you were doing?
Not.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
I think she's gonna go out to check on the others, like who are guarding Aquarius. Is he gone?
I think he's gone. So yeah, guess whose Roll20 and character sheet is currently popping up the little not responding, do you want to wait messages?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah, I've got to wait. I'm hoping it'll recover. Because if I have to click
Usually
anything on my sheet, I'm in trouble.
Usually recovers quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind that I'm also running recording software at the same time.
That's true.
I have clicked wait about 4 times now.
Might I ask what's going on?
With?
In terms of
With Zinnia and Caius.
there being armadillos.
Zinnia is apparently, and Aquarius is. Caius, I think, is tumbling around on the ground.
No, I'm asking them because I just walked up.
Oh, sorry.
Doing practicing some roles. It's actually kind of helpful to learn from something that rolls for that
So-
rolls predominantly anyway.
Aquarius is an armadillo.
Yes, because I was practicing roles, just to pass the time, and she said, "Hey, that reminds me of an armadillo." And I'm, okay.
I
So she
understand.
turned into an armadillo, and now I'm learning from an armadillo. God, I thought being purple made me weird.
No. Zinnia.
This is how druids are.
Oh, she's a druid.
I'd
We
be
learned she was a
careful.
druid like a while ago.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Conrad?
Armadillo
Yeah,
noises.
the armadillo
noises. I genuinely googled got best answer I could. As close as I can make.
Esther's gonna ask for my absence.
I was just gonna ask.
Has anything like important happened in my absence?
We found out she could turn into an armadillo.
I mean, besides.
Guys, has anything important happened? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
No?
No.
It's only been like an hour.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I think the others are going to take a while, so. How is it that you roll?
And then you just see it just tumble down a hill slightly.
Esther's gonna try to. Probably
Esther,
fail.
Esther, do you want to be an armadillo?
Check.
I want to be an armadillo.
Please
You want to be
say,
an armadillo?
please say out loud
I
what.
want to be.
Oh god.
I want to be an armadillo.
Please say out loud what the check result is because it's not going to show up on the recording. My thing is still frozen.
Yeah. Give me the acrobatics check, Esther, and then Zini,
Wait,
what you're gonna do.
Then you can be an armadillo.
Into an armadillo. Yeah, she eats
5.
She just like kind of slides down the hill. It's a 5.
Esther, no.
And you are suddenly an armadillo.
Oh my god, this is great.
And
She's
you
like-
see Aquarius turn to you and say in armadillo, "Oh my god, you can do it too?"
No, I just got turned into an armadillo. This is wonderful.
Senior waves.
They're such fantastic beasts, aren't they?
Yeah, this is awesome. And she's gonna roll about.
Yeah.
And you guys for an hour. Yeah, it will take a total of 4 more, actually 4 hours.
You're
lagging a bit.
roboting.
You're bad.
For the picture, Ashta, Rosalind, and Hal'qarim.
I don't even think you can hear us at this point.
Yeah.
No.
There he goes. Reconnecting. My pages are still unresponsive.
Oh, this
Okay.
is falling apart real quick.
It's great.
I am inches from exiting and having to reopen everything.
Test.
There you are.
Yep.
Sorry. So,
Nope.
Oh god, no.
There he goes.
like I said,
Yeah, no, it's
Goodbye, Conrad.
goodbye, Conrad.
at least
Oh well.
This might be the end.
Tech issues. Yay. For the love of Pete. Why, computer, why?
Conrad says he suffers.
Oh, there it is.
test.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Is he on again?
I don't know.
Sounds like it.
Oh god.
Spotted. Oh, it's really bad.
Yeah. Oh, this is worse than usual.
Oh no.
I think this might be it for today, boys.
Might be for the boys.
Yikes. So, oh.
You're just gonna type it. We're reading. I'm just gonna read it out loud.
Thank you.
No problem. Basically, there's at least 4 hours till the enchanting is done.
Okay.
Use the time as you wish.
Okay. Well, in that case, if we do have that kind of open area, Ash will ask Rosalind if there's any combat training wanted.
Yep. There is. And I can roll nothing. I can't even see rolls, so, and I can't...
What's your numbers? I'll roll your numbers
I
for you.
can't remember! I scrolled down!
Guys, Rosalind's and Ashta, the building you're brought to is in a noble's house. Is a noble's house basement. It is essentially a ruby mine that's been mostly dug out.
Okay.
Alright. That's why we're not supposed to use thunder, because we're underground.
Oh yeah, it was in a basement. He said that.
Oh yeah, but basement or previous mine.
Ariel, I'm
Different.
pretty sure your dex is +2.
Okay, yeah, that sounds right. And I don't have
Yeah.
proficiency with the sword, and I don't think I have proficiency on a dex save.
Okay. Yeah, warlocks have proficiency in wisdom and charisma.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got a physical d20 and I can just tell you what I roll.
Alright.
Okay.
If that's trusty, and you just tell me what Ashta rolls.
We
Yeah.
trust you.
So, yeah. Okay, so...
So it's a 2-hit and a dex save, yeah?
Yeah, it's a 2-hit and a dex. So my 2-hit is 18 plus 2 for 20.
Oh, Connor can pull up your sheet.
Okay, I still can't see it.
Yeah, we're got it right now.
Good.
Um,
So I guess if you want to re-roll that, sure. But
Oh, just to confirm the numbers.
okay.
Esther's gonna use draconic training.
Yeah.
Genius gonna read.
Asha, 20 to hit, 15 on the save.
Okay, so 15 on the save, so Rosalind does hit, and her save is a 9. So they hit each other.
Rosalind's gotta keep the shield up.
Yep, she keeps forgetting to keep the shield up.
Click.
Yep. That's 12 to hit, and 20 to save.
Esther, your time can be doubled for draconic.
Asha, another 20 to hit, 25 to save.
God damn it, she got so close. One more?
Sure.
Alright, ooh, 19 plus 2 to hit is 21 to hit. And, oh, nat 20 on the save, so that's 22 to save.
10 to hit, 14 to save.
Yay, she won! One round.
She got better during the end.
Yep.
Thank you for your input, John.
No problem.
Okay. Is that going to fill up with the 4 hours, or does Ashta want to take some time to do something else? Because I'll split whatever.
You might...
Yeah, I know. I gotta go.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, bye.
Later.
Yep.
Conrad says 8 hours to training, question mark.
We've got 4 hours until we pick up the enchanting stuff, so...
Doubled from Ashta.
I guess it's whatever we want to split things up into, and if Devin is speaking, we can't hear him.
Yeah, no, I was just reading that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I guess don't worry about doubling it until we've decided what we've actually put.
Yeah,
So-
don't write anything on my sheet, Conrad. I'm keeping notes. I'll put it in next time.
Yeah. Just thinking, is there anything Ashta could train that Rosalind could teach him? There's Dragon Chess, but we're not exactly in the best place for it right now.
Yeah.
You know, I might ask the GM this. Basically be, since Asha is doing agility training as well, could perhaps the reason for that good, for Rosalind's good streak at the end there, could Asha have basically, like, not, like, dropped his weapons and basically attempted to dodge as Rosalind swings at him? Just basically, maybe as in, for the 2 hours she would get, an hour of agility, if possible.
He said sure to the first idea.
Yeah, Ashta can do that. I'm wondering if it's going to give numbers. She still has a means to block something. Yeah, sure. Basically, this kind of, not exactly a hit, but just make sure when the stick goes, the shield gets tapped, not a. So you can't double hours while doing that, but you both train on your own. Okay, so if Asha wanted to do it, because if Asha wanted to do it, Rosalind would get less training then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then he wouldn't do it. I was just wondering if it could just be a little bit of a thing on top with how he changes going about it, but if that's the case, yeah, just 4 hours of physical training.
Okay.
For Rosalind.
Thank you.
Alright.
I've got it in my notebook. I'll fix my character sheet later.
Yeah, because at that point, it's just worth it for him to just wait for later and, like, do training with Caius or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's their 4 hours. What does Hal'qarim do during?
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Not that I think he's gonna do anything offensive.
He's writing.
Oh no.
Great.
No.
Ashta, okay, if he's writing, Ashta will tap his pocket and tell Rayla to go invisible and read what he's.
Oh,
Glorious. Ah, fuck.
doesn't speak the language. Does she recognize the language? Celestial.
Ashta.
Oof.
We may need.
Oh my.
Rosalind can read all writing, but she's not over there, so she's not gonna ask.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's a way we can hook up Rayla's vision to someone right now.
Probably
Because
not.
both of them
Thorn.
could read it.
There's also, dragon.
If Thorn was here.
Pseudo dragon.
No, Thorn's out
Well,
with
yeah,
you
but-
guys.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. He's out
Yeah,
with
but-
me.
Yeah, but it would need to be a live feed because Rayla's not going to remember anything if it's just a wall of scribbling she can't understand.
Mm-hmm.
No live stream Rayla to the rest of the fucking party.
Yeah, if we could. I don't know. But I don't think there's anything we can do right now. Maybe the Fain could do something, but not while we're.
Does Rayla even have?
No, Rayla doesn't.
Mm-mm.
Maybe we can have Rayla go and just sneak in and take a look later.
Just.
Guys, that's so mean.
to Thorn. Thorn transmits. It'll be a whole heist later.
Fain can technically exist in Rayla.
Do they?
You said that was so mean. What do you mean?
You'd be splitting one of yours to give her the ability, though. That's what Conrad's
Okay,
saying.
because I remember specifically you said before we couldn't do that.
I think we'd be giving up some of our Fain so she has Fain.
Yeah, but like I remember specific. Yeah, when yours had less. Oh, okay, fine. But I don't think there was a point where you said we could now do that. But okay. Okay. Yeah,
Okay. I understand.
If you use the Fain system in the future, maybe specify that. That's all. Yes. So.
Ty, I understand that, but at the same point in token, it's a fictional character who is known for writing cringy love letters.
We are very worried.
I don't condone Hal'qarim. I don't condone
Well,
that.
also, Ash is wondering if it's a letter he's gonna write to his grandma.
Mhm.
Oh, fuck, true.
Essentially, splitting the Fain would be permanent to give her the ability to use.
And I assume that would just take from the Fain number of someone in the party, yeah. Alright. Maybe we can talk to Orzer.
Permanently weakening.
Or is there's gonna be like, we're gonna show up with Aquarius.
Yeah, let's just leave. Let's just leave the Fain question behind.
Yep. But after that, these scrolls are ready.
Well, no, I just mean more so if Orzer has like 56 Fain points, and we can get him, and we can haggle him to go down to 55 for the sake of Rayla, then just a thing to keep in mind. But besides that, I actually might ask about that later. But for now, yeah, Ash will just make note of that and feign telepathy over to Rosalind that as well. Just he's writing Celestial. It could be something. It could be like the psychic transmission equivalent of emotion.
Equivalent of what emotion?
Of making a like a gagging motion.
Ah.
But or it could be something he's writing to old Gram, the divination wizard, very loyal to the druids.
She thinks back with the Fain. He did mention writing her a letter in order to set her mind at ease so that she might not spy on him. Didn't she? Oh no,
Yes,
wait. I don't think Rosalind was there for that conversation. That was just Ashta and Hal'qarim.
Ashta then would then say that
Yep.
if that's the case then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Backtrack.
But he'll also say, "That's great and all, but I'm worried he's doing it himself." Coming through us first.
As a note, it's not a single sheet of paper, it's in a book.
Okay.
Personal diary.
Alright.
Dear journal.
Ash's a big meanie face.
I feel like he's a Dear Diary kind of person.
Good point.
No, I feel like he's a my dearest diary kind of guy.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Rayla, however, Conrad typing, does notice as he flips the page, it's a half-assed drawing of Rosalind.
I said, I knew.
Oh, poor boy. And she is scantily clad.
Oh no!
She is scantily clad.
No!
I take it back. Go look through the fucking journal. I don't give a shit anymore.
I said.
Oh, Hal'qarim. I was like,
Ashta,
I said.
and you
Yeah.
notice.
yeah, I was gonna say,
And you notice what?
Hal'qarim suddenly turns into a donkey.
Wait, what?
Hal'qarim turns into
Rayla.
a donkey when Rayla sees the fucking the book. I love pictures.
So suddenly, donkey.
Well, he is an ass.
Yes,
Yep.
that's why.
And there's just a sudden turn, stare, and what happened?
Rayla floats back into your pocket and drive-bys Rosalind's ear to say, "You'll thank me later."
Oh my god. Does the book happen to fall open?
D20.
Hal'qarim whinnies, and yes, it does.
Okay.
I would advise a quick investigation.
Well, I imagine
Rosalind
just like
has a high passive investigation, if that makes any sense or difference, and perception.
Glance over.
I think her investigation is something like 18.
Oh, you see the book.
What page is it open to?
It is open face up.
It's open to the page.
To one of just writing.
Thank fuck.
What?
It's just writing on the page it opens up to.
Okay. Is she close enough glancing over that she would be able to catch
Oh
some
no,
of the...
oh no.
What
no,
happened?
But it reads very carefully of a particularly intimate fanfiction.
Oh god, no!
Oh. Oh.
Oh no. Yeah, she reads just enough lines to realize this, and then immediately stops, and...
there's a few lines, and then there's one word, and it's like, okay, no.
There's like insert.
There's
Like, is
lines
that-
read in incomprehension, almost.
Is it lemon or grapefruit is the true question.
Grapefruit.
So Donkey Reem attempts to run up the stairs when he sees the book. Okay, Connor says it's orange. What orange, Connor? Because orange means it's like only PG-13.
It's definitely grapefruit. Come on.
Okay, it's only orange. Okay, so it only gets to make it.
Okay, so not.
Okay.
Ashta Misty Steps.
But you know, when she reads the phrase
Yeah,
pink and
and-
succulent lips,
And copying a feel or two. It's lime, please.
he felt the warmth of her bosom or something gross like.
Copying a feel. Lime is groping. I don't want to argue about this on record, but
So yeah, Ashta just appears in front of the dog, like puts a hand on the head. There's kind of an essence that slowly raises up behind. Not intentionally, but you know, the hand goes to the crossbow. What do you do?
oh no. I read together.
And he kills
How the donkey looks scared. Looks scared, sorry.
Rayla, turn him back.
You are suddenly hand on his helmet. He's quite red.
So, what do you have to say for yourself? Conrad, can you check if your voice is working right now?
That my writings are my own business.
Okay, to be fair.
Oh, please.
He's
That
not
my
wrong.
writings are my own business.
The voice died. Beautiful.
I cannot say these straight faced, I apologize.
Because you see, here's the thing. I'm not worried about the writings. Okay, I'm lying, I am worried about the writings. I'm also worried about the other stuff in there too, which, yes, I saw, or I heard about. So, but I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the man standing in front of me who would do that.
Ash just pissed. We love a protective man.
I can't wait to do these voices. And what business of yours is that I create in my own personal books?
Oh, you're going Bellabon here.
I am.
I love it so much.
Channeling Metal One.
Well, because I gotta wonder if you were doing that when you could have, oh, I don't know, been taking Lookout. I trusted you to do Lookout, and you've been writing quite a lot recently, and this is what you've been spending your time with? Okay, who am I fucking kidding? You piss me off. And he's just going to deck him.
Oh my god.
Yes,
Please tell me how
Ashta.
he rolls. Please tell me.
Please, you may think low of me. I know to keep what, and then he gets decked. That's fucking amazing. Roll for it, bud.
Alright.
Oh, I'm so happy. This is glorious.
Well, actually, I'm gonna ask, does...
He's in full magical plate armor.
I was gonna ask, does he still have the stick the training sword he was using in his hand?
Oh my god.
Unless you choose to drop it.
Okay. Planar warrior.
Oh shit.
Oh fuck.
Ah, no, I have advantage. I have advantage.
Conrad, just a quick pause.
Okay.
I was gonna say.
Because he was waiting for you to use planar, he was waiting for Ashta to use planar.
So test.
Yep.
Hey!
Okay, so when you go to call upon your planar warrior, the power comes to you as it usually does. But instead of the kind of incorporeal kind of power it usually gives you, where you feel this kind of looseness to the muscles and joints that would normally translate power, instead it's like
Oh no.
Guess what? Ariel, has your roll 20 loaded yet?
Oh no. No. I've been clicking wait every time the little thing pops up, hoping that maybe someday.
Okay, it says it's like,
Magically fueled.
yep, magically fueled.
In what manner?
What's magically fueled?
Planar warrior.
Inner warrior.
Okay. I have no idea what he's getting at here, so.
Also, just real quick, because you would have advantage on that attack. I'm just gonna roll again real quick. 15.
This time, spikes of ice tip the end of the stick when you use it.
Oh fuck.
Okay. Not sure if it's on another plane.
So you can choose to use force or cold damage.
He's still gonna use force. That's what he knows.
Then yeah, his helmet catches the stick as it would normally strike between the eyes, but it rends a deep dent in the helmet. You dented his precious armor though.
He's just gonna wait to see what he does real quick, like in the next half second.
You do notice he doesn't raise a weapon or anything. But he's clearly pissed. He walks over to the journal and picks it up and just exits the building.
Well, just real quick, because Asha is still standing in the stairway.
Give the D20 for the teleport. Don't you have a...
20, deal 1. But yeah, just kind of maybe like after the hit, as he's walking, just if you were worth the of, if you plan to stop him, roll a craft. I don't. This is just as he's going. This isn't. This is because you're posting blocks of text, and I don't have time to kind of go in between. Just as he's. Ashta just says, if you were worth anything of what you're building yourself up to be, you would respect the lady's wishes in not wanting just that letter, let alone what you have. Doesn't matter what you do in your personal time. It's who you are and who you present yourself to be to someone, and what you're hiding for someone. That's the issue.
He pushes that.
And then at that point, Asha would go to stop him. Just with the arm across the chest, he wouldn't like put him in a headlock or anything, but. Yep. Okay. Ah, damn it. Misclick. I saw an A. God damn it. Yep, the numbers don't like me right now. They really don't like me.
Yep, he just walked.
Ash will just call after. Still on this mission. If you're gone, it's not going to be nice for you.
My part of the job is complete. Do what you want from here on. Fuck.
Well, shit.
This is like not. I'm not here. I'm not there.
Ash just kind of swears under his voice. Just looks over to Rosalind.
That's
She's
the
looking
end of the
kind of
session.
lost and kind of embarrassed at the same time.
That's the end of the session.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Jesus fuck.
That's not good.
Yeah, I just got back into the Roll20 and it's saying my connection to the server's been interrupted, so, yeah.
Right. But, oh no. This is not good.
Yeah.
It's not.
He knows. Fuck. I'm so.
Alright, so
Test.
there you are.
Yeah.
And there's Roll20 snapping back into place. God, right at the end.
I think that you can end this recording.
Yeah, I'll stop the recording. We're done.